Maximum Mouthage.
Let me tell you something, brother. Max Hogan is gonna run wild and all these Mouthomaniacs, brother. Because tonight is the start of the Maximum Mouthage Pro Wrestling Podcast, brother. We're gonna talk about our favorite wrestlers, the Mount Rushmore of wrestlers we think defined an era in wrestling, and we're also gonna have some special guests, brother. What you gonna do when Max Hogan and Maximum Mouthage run wild on you, brother? Brother, brother, brother. Brother. Brother.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to the Maximum Mouthage Mayhem. And for our main event, we have, weighing in at 398 pounds, standing at an astounding 1 foot 2 inches, call sign Suitcase.
Potatoes.
And his opponent, weighing in at 1 kilogram, standing at a whopping 17 feet 3 inches below the belt, Maze Boy.
I like chicken.
For tonight, your special guest referee, Lauk.
So,
How we doing, ladies and gentlemen?
Howdy, folks.
it's not a Maximum Mouthage podcast if I don't.
Hold on.
Oh, I think I just came.
Got me a quarter chub right there.
And your announcer is Bruce. Hi, thank you.
Yes, we got a couple special guests here, folks. Bruce, and you just want to be known as Lauk?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's good.
And folks, this is the official start of the pro wrestling podcast we mentioned last week and mentioned a couple of different times, actually.
So, disclaimer real quick. Menakai is not here. He is
Unfortunately.
currently shitting himself to death. Probably.
Yes, he's facing the poop kraken.
He's either shitting himself to death or other end to death.
But we hope he's hopefully
He's shitting
resting
himself to
sleep.
death or deathing
Like,
himself to
rest
shit.
in peace.
Yeah.
Alive.
We pray for his success in this endeavor.
Yes.
Praying for success in this economy?
Just for
Can't
him.
afford anything else.
Fair enough.
You're right.
So, wrestling. This is a subject that I know nearly nothing about. This is going to be these boys' show, and I'm just going to be here probably soy jacking in the background.
We brought in a man wearing a Monday Night Rollins t-shirt from 2018, 2019,
2008.
and a man wearing an original All Elite Wrestling t-shirt that he bleach dyed.
Hell yeah.
Noise.
So we've got plenty of wrestling knowledge between the three of us. I would hope.
Yes.
And now I never watched a show in my life.
So my favorite wrestling was just in Berlin.
Some random show called BEW or something like that.
Oh, I was talking about the Olympics.
thought I saw that on
I
Pornhub
only like
once.
Olympic wrestling.
BW
was
sounds like
Paris
something
this
I
year.
watched on Pornhub once.
But,
Big Evil Wang.
so, do you guys want to go with the lists that we had set up, or do you guys just want to just wing it, or?
We can just wing it.
You guys go structure. I'm going to interrupt you when
Yeah,
I want to talk.
I was
Honestly, yeah, without Menakai here, our normal structural plans are probably going to fall by the wayside.
You're right.
So it might just be smart to just kind of wing it.
Yeah, I was going to take notes, and then I've had a very busy week, so I entirely forgot.
I'm more of a fuck it, we ball kind of guy anyway.
Yeah, he's always been a fuck it, we ball
Bat
kind
me
of
up.
guy.
Oh, that was weak. Wait. Oh, that might have been. Oh, that was odd there. I could see the sound wave.
So, one of the first things I got
was going in for a tender smooch. Gotta make love to that mic, homie.
One of the first things I got is your favorite finishers.
Favorite finishers.
Since you guys are the guests, you guys go first.
I've always been a fan of the RKO out of nowhere. That's always been a top
That's
tier
one of the
That shit's
that's one of the
always
few
entertaining.
I know, and I love it. Randy Orton slithering in.
It literally is too. And when he says out of nowhere, you just literally out of
happens.
nowhere. It's like, oh, okay.
My favorite one of all time is still the one on Evan Bourne,
I was just gonna mention that one
where
too.
he's going up for his what's it called?
Shooting star press.
Shooting star press off the top rope.
That sounds
and
kinda
Randy
sick.
Orton just stands up and delivers. It's so for the guy who doesn't know wrestling, a shooting star press is a backflip where you land with your gut on the opponent.
Okay.
He did this from the top rope.
Yeah.
And while he's in the air, Randy Orton gets up from his back and lands an RKO on him.
Oh.
It is majestic.
Oh.
Or when Seth Rollins was going to give him the stomp,
Oh, that was
and just out of nowhere, bam, RKO.
the best part about that is what happened later in the show. Later in that same pay-per-view.
I don't remember what happened.
You got to know what happened, Mr. Monday Night Rollins.
No,
The heist of the century.
heist? Yeah, I was gonna say, was that the heist? Is that the same show?
That was the same show.
WrestleMania going to 2 days is messed me up on
because he lost in the opener to Randy Orton,
Yeah,
and then
that's right.
went on later in the night to cash in, making it a triple threat,
Yep.
winning the WWE title. Universal wasn't around yet,
Yeah, I think it was that. If I remember right.
beating both Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar in the snooze fest.
The snort.
I was gonna say snore fest.
That's a good topic to talk about too. How Roman Reigns has redeemed himself to
Roman-
the fans.
Oh my
Yeah.
god!
How he's so good now.
But and what about you guys? Favorite finishers?
Is it considered a finisher? Because I thought about it. I'm like, it's got to be the buckle bomb, right? Is that considered kind of a finisher, or is it more of like kind of phased out?
I feel like the buckle bomb is more of a setup piece.
More of a setup piece now.
Because I don't think anyone has really lost to the buckle bomb.
Sounds really cool. Can you explain?
It's a power bomb into a turnbuckle. So you lift someone up and you throw them right into the turnbuckle.
Okay.
As hard as you can. So if it can't be that, unironically, I just got to go with the spear.
Fair.
It's just
Classic.
It hits, and it's always. Granted, you can say I know Roman uses it now pretty much exclusively. He's the only one who really does it. But there've been so many good people to use spears. There's been fucking Goldberg. There's been
Goldberg.
everyone knows Edge's spear.
Yeah, can we all just agree that Edge's spear is probably the worst spear?
It is not good. Yeah, he puts a lot of showmanship on it. That's what sells it.
He doesn't really hit them with the spear. He just kind of follows through with his arm across them.
Yeah, he does the hair flip up with his long hair. and
Where
that.
Roman Reigns, Goldberg, Jey Uso, everyone else who's doing the spear right now,
They go for the fat hit.
they smack the shit.
They plant shoulder to stomach, and you can.
Even Bobby Lashley when he was doing the spear.
Lashley
oh my
did
God.
have a wicked spear.
Although I'd say one of the better spears that Edge did was to John Cena at ECW One Night Stand to make him lose the title.
Yeah,
When he
but
went through the table.
Even watching it back, though, you can see the amount of lackadaisical hitting he has.
What about the spear where Jeff Hardy's hanging off the belts
Okay, that's
out of the
that's-
ladder match, and he jumps off the ladder and spears him
Now,
down?
Bro.
I'm having kind of an idea what a spear is, but can I get an explanation?
It's just basically like a
Basically, if I ran
football
at you-
tackle, really.
If I ran at you
Yeah.
full speed and then lowered my shoulder and put my shoulder right here on you.
so instead of like a clothesline type thing.
Yeah, it's like
just
I.
take
It's
like
like
a shoulder.
it's like
Yeah, he's
it's
just-
like
you
it's
just-
like putting my shoulder in your gut and
and just taking you
essentially.
down.
Yeah.
So the one he was talking about,
Was that TLC 2?
I think that was TLC too. Yeah.
was it? I couldn't remember if it was the first or second one, but basically there was.
It was one of the TLCs.
Basically,
For sure.
Jeff Hardy was hanging from the belts from the ceiling.
Yeah.
Probably what, 20 feet up in
Oh,
the,
yeah.
Got
in
at
the air.
least.
And
That's what they were
Edge climbs onto a ladder next to him. Now, during the match, the wrestlers talk to each other to kind of say, hey, we're going to do this, we're going to do this.
Yeah.
Jeff, if I remember correctly, I think Edge actually said this. He's like, what are you doing? He's like, I have no idea. He spears him in midair, falling 20 feet of the ring.
Oh my god!
And
It's
they
exactly as
kind
loud
of
as you
paid
think
for
it
it
is, too.
later on in life.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah, Edge having to retire because broken neck issues, and then
Yike.
Jeff Hardy.
Jeff Hardy falling into drugs and
Yeah,
alcohol
drugs
because of
because of
all of the
painkillers
pain he
and-
has in
yeah.
his life.
Yeah,
Yeah, unfortunately.
He did just release a statement the other day saying that he traded all the drugs and alcohol for ice baths.
good for him.
Interesting.
There's more wrestlers doing that. I actually see Michelle McCool and Undertaker doing that now.
Ice baths are amazing.
Have you guys
for
watched
pain.
some of the interviews Undertaker's given since his retirement?
Yeah.
Homie's the
Fucking
funniest fucking dude.
Is he really?
Yeah.
Shit's
He's
awesome.
hilarious.
He,
He's just a cool
he
dude.
has his own podcast.
Does he?
Shit,
Yeah.
I might have to
Yeah,
listen to
it's
that.
on
6
the
feet
WWE
under.
network or something.
6 feet
Wha-
under.
whatever
That's
it's
perfect.
called.
Oh, on the network. Yeah,
Yeah.
okay. That makes sense why I haven't seen it.
Shit's awesome. So, a couple of the finishers I'll list off. I got quite a few of them, actually. Another classic, the Stone Cold Stunner.
I was actually going to mention
Yeah.
that because
Yep.
that's probably one of the only few that I know of.
I
fucking love that
I
move.
kind of love how Kevin Owens does it now because he also did it with Stone Cold. He trained with Stone Cold to get it down, and then Stone Cold hit him with it during WrestleMania.
See, the thing with the stunner for me has always been it doesn't look like it hurts that bad, but the cells.
Yeah,
The cell on stunners is always 10 out of 10. Like,
Well, especially when The Rock did it.
The
he
Rock
did a
would sell
freaking
it.
back
Yeah.
Shane
flip and flipping
McMahon,
everywhere.
Shane McMahon throwing himself practically out of the ring like
Uh-huh.
every time.
I think when
God.
I think when it was done to Vince the first time, Vince was like acting like anesthesia.
Yeah, he was like seated up on the ground.
Shit was awesome.
They did it to Linda McMahon, and she just kind of fell over.
yeah.
Like terrible sell, but it was so funny at the time.
There are some people that can sell it and some people that can't.
Yeah,
Got of course Tombstone Pile Driver.
Yeah.
the classic,
Yeah.
Sadly, that
the
along
one
with
of the
like,
most dangerous moves in wrestling.
Yeah.
Sadly, like that, along with like the sweet chin music, has turned into a
Sweet chin music.
transitional move.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean I got Sweet Chin music on here.
Chokeslam has two.
But,
Chokeslam did a transitional move.
Sharpshooter is another one I really like. I'm a big submission guy.
Yeah.
Okay, explain. This one sounds cool.
So
Sharpshooter is a submission move that targets the lower back.
Okay.
Basically,
You-
it crosses your legs over the knee
Yeah.
and then bends your back.
Oh,
so you know the Boston Crab I taught you.
yeah. I
Picture
remember
that,
Boston
but
Crab.
you have both their legs crossed and you have their legs on your arms and your butt bending back with your leg between their
Yeah.
their legs.
Yeah. Basically, it's like all knees and lower back.
Yeah.
It don't feel good.
Shit hurts.
brutal. Yeah.
Another one, I don't know if you guys watch any of like Austin Aries' matches.
Austin Aries, one of the best wrestlers in the ring, one of the biggest egos outside of the ring.
I found that out the hard way, unfortunately.
So did you meet him?
Well, no,
No.
I followed him on Instagram,
Yeah.
and he was a big vegan guy. Basically, he said like, if you're not vegan, you're poison. You're gonna die.
Oh, okay.
And
Okay,
he was,
so
he was
typical
just
vegan then.
One of those vegans.
Yeah, he's one of those guys like, I'm more superior than you are because I am vegan and I have no poisons or toxins in my body. I mean, don't get me wrong. I love the guy in the ring. He's an awesome wrestler. And my favorite move that he does, the Last Chancery.
yeah.
I fucking love that move.
I don't know why that reminded me of I can't think of what the move's called, but
probably say it,
it's either
unless you get
it's
it
done by
slurred.
Pac, also known as Neville from WWE,
Mm-hmm.
where his submission with his arms, where he just pulls one arm behind your back and then grabs the other one with his leg, and so they're basically you're clapping behind your back.
Mm-hmm.
It's so painful.
So what were you guys talking about over there?
So you were talking
shit.
about how Austin Aries says like I'm a vegan and I don't have any poisons in my body. It just makes me think of the joke like you cannot give a Dorito to a 13th century peasant because they'll implode. I want to. I want to give Austin Aries just like the most foul concoction of like processed food and see if he implodes or something.
Bologna,
Dog.
hot dogs.
All you'd have to do is give him a McNugget with any kind of sauce on it.
Yo, you might be right.
No, you gotta go
They
with the
fucking
hot
puke.
mustard specifically.
Give him a hot pocket and he just fucking gone.
It'll be like a senior Pello scream. You'll just hand him a hot pocket.
Oh, and another iconic finishing move
shit.
that's more recent of times coming from New Japan and AEW is Kenny Omega's One Wing Angel. Only one person ever has kicked out of it.
Sephiroth.
That's kind of the reference. Omega's a gamer. Yeah, he's a nerd.
Is it like is it supposed to be like something that like the move itself like
So
It's hard to
he'll
explain.
pick you up on his shoulders where you're facing forward. He'll grab one of your arms and put it over, and then he'll basically flip you around so you land on your neck.
It's like a power bomb, but he throws you by your arm.
Yeah,
it's kind of sick actually.
Yeah. Now, if only Kenny Omega
Follow up.
don't talk to me or my son ever again.
Exactly.
Got a couple more. So classic. It's simple. The Brain Buster. I
Yeah.
do like the Brain Buster.
Brain Buster.
Especially the top rope Brain Buster. That shit fucking just looks painful as shit.
Yes.
Top contributor to CTE awards of all time. Honestly, that's
CTE?
that's how you get a concussion. CTE.
Oh.
Yeah. It's
So you know what a normal suplex is, right?
Yeah.
CK?
Yeah, I know what a suplex is.
So instead of going back, you have them straight up in the air, and you basically have it land right on their neck, like right on their head. But there's been people who do it on the top turnbuckle,
Yep.
and land, and it's like,
the amount of times you could just see a wrestler after they get hit with that, and they're just kind of like laying there, their eyes are glassed over. It's like, yeah,
like,
never want that. Never want to take that one. That's tough.
Yeah, I got two last ones really quick. One of my favorite top rope finishers, 5-star frog splash.
RVD, baby.
Classic.
Fucking love
Biggest
that move.
pothead in the world.
Classic.
Dude, biggest pothead in the world, but I love seeing his matches. And the fact that, so the 5-star frog splash basically just jumps off and just lands on it.
Yeah.
But the thing is, with his splash, he can turn in the air at any angle. So you don't have to be straight on. It can be over here, here, here. He will land it fucking perfectly every time.
He will throw
damn.
himself at you. Suffer.
Yeah, shit is so fucking awesome.
Fair enough.
And last but not least on my list, the Pounce. Remember that? From Marcus Corvon?
I don't.
I'm unfamiliar. Yeah.
Really?
Wow.
Shit. Okay, so do you know Monty Brown from TNA?
Yeah.
He had like that watered down Disturbed theme song.
Yep.
So he was they turned him into Marcus Corvon in WWE's shitty ECW. And
Oh, that's why.
I forgot about that. The
Yeah.
ECW were fucking. Christian was champion.
Yep.
CM
Bobby
Punk.
Lashley
That was
was
CM Punk's
champion,
first world
CM
title.
Punk was
Yeah,
champion.
man. Wow.
so
Kane was champion. Big Show was champion.
Yeah, they brought Kane
Yeah.
and Big Show in as champions. For
freaking
for
Chavo
ECW.
Guerrero was champion, freaking Ezekiel Jackson. But so
Ezekiel Jackson.
So the Pounce is you'll whip your opponent this way and then you go the opposite way. You meet him in the middle and just tackle the fucking shit out of him. You
feels
just meet
like-
him
that
in the
feels
middle,
like-
just BAM!
That-
Fucking asshole, get out of here.
That makes me think of like JBL's clothesline from Hell, but more effort put into it.
Pretty
Yeah.
much, yeah. And with Marcus Corvon, he's this fucking huge, buff black dude. And tackling the shit out of you in the middle of the ring, you just like, you go flying.
Yeah.
I love that fucking move.
Damn.
God.
Sounds spicy.
I am getting very weird glimpses of WWE's ECW.
I honestly forgot about it.
Flashbacks of matches past.
I
It
just
was
want to
so
kind of
bad.
puke and kill myself.
No,
was
I
so
remember being a young teenage boy where they were advertising strip poker on ECW.
Oh my
Yep.
god.
Yeah, they did anything to sell that promotion besides make it good.
And they yeah.
The first show, they had a zombie.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
And there was
Yo,
a guy,
wasn't Boogeyman a big one in there? The dude who'd like crawl out.
Boogeyman
Yeah.
was never in ECW.
He wasn't.
No.
I could have swore
He was main show. I remember he feuded
That's even
with
worse.
Why do I feel like I've seen this when I was younger?
the only feud I remember him in, Boogeyman in, was against Booker T and Shermel.
That's right.
Yeah, that's true.
Yep.
was it ever on Spike Network?
Oh,
yeah.
that's what
Oh, yeah.
ECW was on.
Yep.
That's what.
That's
what-
I might have actually seen that a lot when I
ECW
was
was on
younger. I just don't remember
so-
It was on Spike on Tuesday nights.
yeah, because it was to
Yep.
fuck with TNA. It
Yep.
was awful.
And so the fucking zombie they had this guy come in called Sandman.
it. Yeah.
He's literally just a skinny dude with a kendo stick, smokes cigarettes, and drinks beer.
Dude, Sandman was
A man's
badass,
man,
bro.
if you would.
Yeah, he's
was-
a badass motherfucker.
So, before you continue, I'm sorry. I have to talk about Sandman now. Sandman his entrance was iconic because he'd come down through the crowd.
Yeah.
He'd always have a kendo stick. He'd always like take someone's beer on the way down, drink the beer, and when he gets to the barricade, he'll like put one foot on the top of the barricade. He has one on the steps that help him get over. He'll grab his kendo stick and he'll smack himself in the head like 4 or 5 times, and he'll cut himself open with the kendo stick.
I think he
right
does
before
it with
his
the beer
matches.
cans. I think.
I think he also does it with beer cans, but
Oh my
I
God.
remember him whipping himself with a kendo stick.
Pre WWE ECW
No, he-
was good.
He
Yeah,
did-
he was a pre WWE ECW guy.
way.
But when they brought him in for WWE ECW, they're like, "Hey, cut back on the beer and the cigarettes and the blood," and he was just kind of a guy.
Yeah, he showed up for like He showed up for like 2 shows, and then I think he just stopped showing up to the company.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
But go on, I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. But yeah, they just had him come in and beat the living shit out of the zombie with a kendo stick.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just walk up, just
Incredible.
And they tried to, like you were saying, a strip poker, tried to make this show viewable by having 3 divas who have no idea how to dance do sexy dance, and it was
boy.
terrible.
Yeah.
And it just the whole show is called Extreme Championship Wrestling. So in the original ECW back in the day, there was no rules. They can pretty much do whatever you want.
Yes.
And you can't really do that when there's rules applied to a show called Extreme Championship Wrestling.
So there's a modern day equivalent to old ECW
Yeah.
in GCW, which I can't remember what GCW stands for. Obviously, Championship Wrestling, but
Isn't it
they
like global or something?
it might be global, but they have death matches.
Okay.
They also have their own thing, but it's a tournament every year that they call the Tournament of Death.
Oh.
And you will have the most brutal matches you will ever see.
Dang. Okay.
Place famous for the Lego death match.
Oh, that's where
Not
that,
a
that
joke.
clip comes
They
from.
had
Not a
an
joke.
actual death match where the weapon that everyone used was just pieces of Legos.
Yeah,
Right.
that's the clip I've seen them where the guy like pours out a whole tub of Legos
Yep.
and then just
Yeah.
like slams the dude on it back
but-
first.
Yep.
I will let you guys know if you haven't seen any of GCW. If you plan on watching death matches, don't go into it thinking you're not going to see people almost die.
Yeah. No. What,
Okay,
what was
I
the
kind of
one
want to
thing?
watch it now.
The one time
Sounds like
we
CZW.
watched one pay-per-view one time, and where dude literally got like part of his throat cut by a fucking
Yep.
pair of scissors
Because
in the ring.
because they decided a wonderful idea is a scissor board. So
Yeah.
you take a big piece of plywood and you screw opened pairs of scissors on this board. And then they decided a good spot with this scissor board
No one can see
is-
that facial expression. but
is
it's 10
having
out
a
of
guy sitting down in the ring, obviously bloodied because they've been wrestling for 10 minutes, set this in front of them with the scissors facing him, and a guy do a running drop kick into the scissor board.
10. Yeah. No, it wasn't good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, but that's the fun part of GCW is you have matches like that where people almost die like 3 times in the match,
Yeah.
and then you have the Invisible Man versus Invisible Stan.
Yes.
What?
2 invisible wrestlers wrestled each other.
Amazing match.
10 out of 10 match,
5-star
honestly.
match.
It was actually entertaining as hell to watch.
So how did it work?
Yes.
Yeah. I
Okay.
can't,
Work, yes.
I can't explain that to you.
Invisible
You
Man
just have to
versus
watch
Invisible
it,
Stan.
and then
for
you'd
the-
have to
I'll
watch
have to watch it.
You'd
For the
have to
listeners
watch
at home, go ahead and look on YouTube. Invisible Man versus Invisible Stan. It is a 10 out of 10 and a masterclass. The best non-wrestling you will ever see in your life.
it. The ref puts in a lot of work.
The
That ref earned his fucking paycheck that night.
The ref now works for AEW
Of course he does.
as one of their best referees.
Dude, some of the extreme shit I've seen, though. You ever watch Combat Zone Wrestling?
CZW, oh yeah.
CZ,
CZW.
Yep.
Ah, shit.
That stuff. See, like, I enjoy a good little fun bit of hardcore wrestling and stuff like that. The GCW and CZW era point where it's just like, we're just going to try to fucking kill each other. It's a bit much. It's a bit much for me.
Yeah.
Like, don't get me wrong. I like a good like thumbtack power bomb or something, but that, other than that, it's like,
I'm trying to think of what guy it was in one of the 2 companies that
he's
kept,
actually watching the match.
yeah, that kept going into death matches. He literally died 2 times. during death matches, and he got revived. I remember one of the matches he died during the match, got
I'm
revived,
telling you, it's a good
and then
match.
continued the match.
They're trading pins right now. It's crazy.
He's watching the match. This man is enjoying Invisible Man versus Invisible Stan.
This is
How
incredible.
much did Tyler pay so we could watch that match?
I think it was like $10.
Oh, okay.
This ref is good too. He looks like he came out of an 80s
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
cyberpunk flick.
Those were kayfabe explained as the glasses that help you see the invisible people.
Yep.
Oh, okay. That really sells it.
Kayfabe's a funny thing to talk about if you don't know wrestling.
Kayfabe is dead. Yeah,
This guy is fantastic.
It's an actual match. Yeah.
they're exchanging blows.
You can't hear it because he doesn't have his audio on, but the crowd was chanting, "Hey, hey, hey!" Every traded blow.
Shit.
Like
Yeah,
they
I
do
don't
in
have it
regular.
turned up because I don't want to.
Yeah, you don't want that to just be blaring into the audience's ears.
I like seeing the spectrogram, seeing that I spiked it 3 times.
Yeah.
Well, we could probably, since we're talking about extreme matches, probably go into favorite matches if you got any on your.
So my favorite match to go back and watch,
I have a lot of
Isn't-
favorite matches, but
it isn't a good match. It's just funny to go back and watch.
I know exactly what you're about to say.
I want you to say it then.
Is it the Shawn Michaels at SummerSlam versus Hulk
Shawn
Hogan?
Michaels versus Hulk Hogan at SummerSlam. I want to say 2006.
I want to say 06 too. I'm not
yeah,
sure.
I thought it was 2005, but it could have been
So
2006.
the backstory of this match.
I love this. I fucking. Oh, dude,
The
this
backstory of this match was Hulk Hogan was coming in, and Shawn Michaels was going to turn heel on Hulk Hogan.
Okay.
They're going to have 2 matches. But this is what they're talking about backstage. They're going to have 2 matches. They're going to have the first one, Hulk Hogan's going to win, and then the second one, Hulk Hogan's going to put over Shawn Michaels. Mm-hmm. So both of them get some benefit out of it.
If you
Because
know
Hulk
anything
Hogan,
about Hulk Hogan, you know this didn't happen.
because Hulk Hogan is an older man at this point, because it's 2006. His heyday was in the 90s. So,
80s.
80s, yeah.
well, yeah, 80s, early 90s. That's where his heyday was. So, the day of the match, Hulk Hogan goes to Vince and is just like, hey, we're only doing 1 match. I'm going to get my win, and that's going to be it.
Yeah.
And then Shawn Michaels hears about it through the grapevine. He's not very happy because he's not getting anything out of the trade other than, younger guy losing to Hulk Hogan.
So, really quick, though, since Suitcase doesn't know, Hulk Hogan, pretty much the entire time he was in WWE, WWF, he had a creative clause where whatever he says goes.
Yeah.
So, like he's saying, the day of the match, I'm going over and we're just doing this 1 match. It kind of pisses Shawn Michaels off.
Also, if you don't know the term, going over means I'm winning.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, he said, I'm going over, you're eating the pin, and that's it. So Shawn Michaels comes out. Obviously, he looks pissed off when he's coming
Yeah,
out.
he's just mad.
Yeah.
Hulk Hogan
He's
comes out.
me walking into work every day.
I feel that.
Hulk Hogan comes out, does his normal shtick, and then they lock up for the first time. Like, they arms over arms, and Hulk Hogan...
Yeah.
Hulk Hogan winds back and throws him, and then Shawn Michaels does like 2 backward somersaults, ends up outside of the ring, and Hulk Hogan's just looking very confused. So Shawn Michaels comes back in, they do it again. He does like a couple more somersaults outside of the ring. Hulk Hogan's looking even more confused. He gets back in the ring. He throws Shawn Michaels into the corner, like a regular Irish whip into the corner.
Yeah.
Shawn Michaels tumbles all the way over outside, goes up against the barricade, and almost flies over the barricade. At this point, Hulk Hogan is pissed. He knows what's happening.
It's the
he knows
best case of overselling since Dolph Ziggler.
He knows.
And you remember what selling is, right?
Yeah, it's generally like
Like, if I go to punch you,
Then
you're going to
You
act
gotta
like
act
you were
like you
punched.
got hit, yeah.
So he is overselling.
he's overacting
Yeah,
everything.
just over-exaggerating
To a
everything.
degree that is ridiculous.
That's fucking funny as
It is
hell.
hilarious. It is a beautiful match.
At some point, we will go and watch this match. At some point.
Yes.
Yep.
So, you know how I did the Hulk Hogan character voice?
Yeah.
That's what Shawn did. Actually, fuck it. I'm just going to talk about promos.
Yeah.
That was one of my favorite promos of all time.
Oh, yeah.
When Shawn Michaels was acting like Hulk Hogan. So he was doing that. It's like, let me tell you something, brother. But he fucking comes in. There's like the dude that's like a host of like a talk show or something. He comes in with like a walker. And
Kimmel
like,
or
he's acting all
something
old and
crazy.
shit.
Yeah.
And he just the whole time was like, let me tell you something, brother. And like his fucking, he had like a Hulk Hogan bandana hat on. And he was like, he couldn't figure out how to put it back on. So he's looking at it, throws it away. Let me tell you something, brother.
He also has like one of the funniest bald caps on because Hulk Hogan is a severely balding man.
Yeah.
One of the things I think, like, a lot of people remember Shawn Michaels for being like a lot of really good in-ring work and a lot of backstage drama. I don't think enough people give credit for that. He was one of the funniest wrestlers. Him and Triple H, especially during DX era stuff, they were the funniest.
One of the worst DX eras in history. It was just them going out and having fun.
Yeah,
Because original DX was all about against the patriarchy. We're fighting the war against WCW. We're doing this, that, and the other. Where this iteration of DX with just Shawn Michaels and Triple H was, LOL, fuck Vince, LOL.
like the 2007 era, 2008 era DX, where they're just like their entire storyline for like 6 months was just like Vince likes dick.
Vince like dick. Vince hires a band of male cheerleaders to kill us.
Yep.
We proceed to kill them repeatedly.
Yeah, we proceed to
several times.
So, speaking of the Vince loves Cox thing. So, Triple H is talking to Vince, and I want to tell
Oh,
this
I've seen that clip.
Have you seen it? He's like, oh, you hate dogs. Oh, I love dogs. Oh, you hate cats. I love cats. Oh, you hate Cox. Oh, I love Cox. The entire audience dies of laughter, and both are just laughing at him. It's like, and he always tries to like stop Triple H and Shawn Michaels from doing this DX, and they just keep fucking him over and fucking him over. There was even a point where they changed the voice in his mic.
Yeah, deal really.
So he
high
sounded like
pitch.
a little mouse, and like he's like, "Damn it, you people think this is funny?"
And then they, and in the middle of a tirade, they brought it down really low, so he went from like the high pitch to just like, "That's not what I sound like." And like,
that I love that fucking era of DX. That shit was so fucking funny.
It was so funny, but you know damn well that they did not do their best in-ring work during that time.
no,
well,
I
that's
know.
the thing. When you were getting to that age for them, because they were starting to, especially Shawn. Shawn was stopping wrestling pretty much entirely. He was like really slowing down.
I still remember during that era the 3v2 steel cage match where it was Vince, Shane, and the Big Show.
Oh yeah, remember they
Yep,
like
yep,
they
that's-
stabbed Big Show in the head with a screwdriver.
Oh, that's not what it was. I don't remember that.
Oh, that
Wait, that happened?
I think I remember seeing that.
I
but-
remember Big Show getting knocked out, and you
Oh.
know back in this day, Vince McMahon had a gimmick of people joining his Kiss My Ass Club,
Okay.
where he would go out in the middle of the ring, bring somebody out,
bring out his great white cheeks.
pull his pants down.
Well, first off, he got an ashel.
He got a
First, an ashel. You remember
Ash-
that?
no.
So you know how people get facials.
Oh yeah.
So for his Kiss My Ass Club, he would get an ashel. He would get his ass all nice and
Yep.
polished up and shit for people to kiss his ass.
So
Literally, on television.
in the middle of the ring, he'd pull out his ass and force whoever to kiss his ass.
I'm never going to learn.
Yep.
So during that match, the clause was if DX lost, they'd have to join the Vince McMahon Kiss My Ass Club.
Okay.
But during the match, Big Show got knocked out. He got tangled up in the ropes, and DX decided to pull down his leotard,
Singlet, yeah.
expose his ass, and then shove Vince McMahon's face directly into his ass crack.
Hell
So
yeah.
for reference, if you don't know Big Show that well, Big Show
funny
is
man.
like a 7'2",
Yeah, I know Big Show.
300-pound man. His ass was bigger than Vince McMahon's head.
Hold up.
Swamp.
500 pounds.
Sorry, 500.
At that time, yeah, he was like
Yeah, he was pretty
like
big.
500
to the
600 pounds.
swamp.
He was billed
He
as
was big.
7 feet tall, 500 pounds
Yeah.
in
Yep.
that,
At
during
that-
that time. Now
at-
he's a lot less.
Yeah,
he
now
actually
he's
has
like-
a fucking.
now he's
he
like-
has a 6-pack now.
Yeah, which is more terrifying.
Yeah,
to be
really.
honest.
I'm kind of glad he doesn't wrestle anymore because he would.
He was slow. He was always a slow wrestler.
I think his whole gimmick was he's big and big, like
Well,
tall.
you remember his
man.
finisher at one point was literally just "I'm a punch you."
Well, yeah, at one point his was the knockout punch. Before that, it was the choke slam.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. No, but speaking of that era of DX, that goes into one of my favorite promos. I got like a whole list of promos and shit, but Stan.
I just kicked Stan.
So I very recently saw Sean Spears' interview going over that.
Yep, I saw that
And
too.
seeing how he got the name Stan, because they were going over what was going to happen backstage, and Shawn Michaels just went, "Oh, hey kid, what's your name?" And he goes by Sean Spears. So he's just Sean, and then Shawn Michaels looks at Triple H, looks back, and goes, "You're Stan."
Hey, I mean,
And
can't have two Seans in the
You
segment.
can't have
Exactly.
two Seans.
Well, and what happened is, so Triple H and Shawn Michaels are backstage, and Triple H is telling him, it's like, this guy called Eric Bischoff, he was like, Eric Bischoff doesn't think you're controversial. He's like, well, I'm not controversial. I'm the one that put Bret Hart in the sharpshooter. That's another story we'll tell you. And he's like, I'm not controversial. How am I not controversial? Goes up to a random guy. Hey, buddy, what's your name? Stan. Stan. Bam! See? I just kicked Stan! Don't tell me I'm not controversial! Then he's going down the hallway fucking kicking people, random people in the face. You see papers flying, you see people flying everywhere. And then Triple H like, I don't know if that's controversial, but it sure sounds funny.
That's a great promo.
Oh, I love that. That's my favorite.
I don't know if it was a promo, but this is a meme I've seen from wrestling for a long time.
If you bring up the Scott Steiner meme, I swear to
I was about to bring up the Scott Steiner
Steiner
meme.
yes,
math.
it is.
Steiner
It
math.
was a promo, and
If
it
you have
was
one half and one half thirds of a third.
I actually haven't pulled up, so I have the entire thing pulled up.
The whole copy pasta.
Oh my
Yeah.
god! I mean,
You got a 25% at best at Beat Me.
keep going. You
Wait,
started.
should I just say the whole thing?
Yeah,
Fuck it, go.
go off.
Go ahead.
You know they say that all men are created equal, but you look at me and you look at Samoa Joe and you can see that statement is not true. See, normally if you go one-on-one with another wrestler, you got a 50% chance of winning. But I'm a genetic freak.
Keep going.
And I'm not normal. So you got a 25% at best at Beat Me. Then you add Kurt Angle to the mix, your chances of winning drastic go down. See, the three-way at Sacrifice, you got a 33/3 chance of winning. But I got a 66 2/3 chance of winning because Kurt Angle knows he can't beat me, and he's not even going to try. So Samoa Joe, you take your 33 1/3 chance minus my 25% chance, and you got an 8 1/3 chance of winning at Sacrifice. But then you take my 75% chance of winning if we was to go one-on-one and then add 66 2/3%, I got 141 2/3 chance of winning at Sacrifice. Samoa Joe, the numbers don't lie, and they spelled disaster for you at Sacrifice. And then Samoa Joe proceeded to win.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, Samoa Joe.
Scott's-
I love it the second I'm like, this is an internet meme I've seen for wrestling. I didn't know it was a promo.
Because
If you say the fucking Scott
you know
Steiner
nothing about wrestling, so I know if you're gonna bring up anything, it's gonna be something from wrestling that has leaked out into the wider world and not for the better. And that's exactly what happened with the Scott Steiner promo.
There's
the
also
numbers don't lie, and they spell
There's also
disaster
one-
for you.
There was also one time he was pissed off at Samoa Joe because he was fat. That's all he said. He's like, he's fat.
Because Scott Steiner is a massively muscular steroid-using man.
Yeah, I saw the picture of
He'd
him.
wear chainmail on his head with
And-
sunglasses.
Yep, I saw the.
And
man's
Samoa
not
Joe
rational.
is kind of built like me.
Samoa Joe is the most average looking big dude.
But he will also fucking kill you.
Oh,
Yes,
yeah.
he will.
He
He's a
is one
dangerous
of the
man.
best wrestlers in the world. He is no.
You like submission wrestling. You like
yeah,
Samoa Joe. That's what
he
he's
was
good at.
known
Fair
in
enough,
TNA as the Samoan submission machine.
Damn.
Like, he was a big fat dude, but he could fucking move.
Yeah.
Like, he was a big dude, but he could fucking fly across the ring.
Him and KO, big dudes who are just fucking terrifying.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Speaking of promos too, I'm going to AEW and going to MJF before he was on a long hiatus, yelling at Tony Khan through the camera, and just he seemed done. He just looked at the camera and was calling Tony Khan all these names, and he just says the fucking dastardest line that was so funny. He said, "Tony Khan, why don't you fire me? Fire me, you fucking mark!"
And
they
my
cut off
God.
his mic.
Suitcase, do you know what a mark is? How would you guys describe a mark?
A mark is
What we are.
is basically a extreme wrestling fan,
Okay.
but a lot of the time they believe kayfabe.
Yeah, it's like
Isn't a mark like you think you know everything about the wrestling business, but you really don't?
yeah, you
Kinda,
think
yeah.
you think you know the business, but because you're not a part of it, you just sit in the stands. You don't know really. anything.
Okay.
Yeah.
It-
Us.
It's like you think you know what's best for the wrestling business, even though you've had nothing to do with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So him calling his boss, the guy who pays him, a mark on
is
live
like a
television,
huge insult.
Yeah,
Still the truest thing MJF's ever said.
very true.
I don't know. I've never been one much for promos. I like some promos, but most of the work is usually just like the really memorable stuff.
Right.
I don't really stick too hard. Promos are usually just like, okay, yeah, that's typical. I expected, something like that. But there's always the stuff like, I appreciate good promo work. Like LA Knight right now is doing fantastic promo work.
I've seen some of his stuff. It's like, oh,
He
shit.
had a match against Roman when Roman was doing the Bloodline stuff, and he sat at the head of the table and goes, "Hey Roman, acknowledge me," which is just taking his whole gimmick and throwing it at him. Sami Zayn's always been good at promos, especially during the Bloodline era as the crazy uncle Oos,
The honorary
Oos. He was funny. Like the one promo one day was it Jay who wasn't feeling very like. Jay was in an argument with the Bloodline or something, and he shouted, "I don't give a damn what the tribal chiefs say," and that sparked tension. So they're all kind of staring at him, and then Sami Zayn goes like, "No, Roman, it's cool. He just wasn't feeling very oosy today."
I remember that. Didn't he break character? Did
Yeah,
he make him break?
like three people. Jimmy in the back was dying. He was. If you watch the clip, he's in the back with the turnbuckle, fucking head down,
I think the only
laughing
one
his
who
ass
didn't
off.
break character was Jay.
Honestly, he was struggling. You could see it. Roman broke it. Like they were all just laughing in the ring at that. Like those are the kind of promos I remember mostly. There's also the other promos like the infamous ones like Brett screwed Brett.
Yeah.
That promo. Everyone, if you're a big fan, you know that promo.
So with being obviously characters in wrestling, you have to play a certain character.
Yeah.
And if you're breaking character, it's like you kind of have to hide your face or else you're going to get busted.
Yeah, like Roman is like a super serious tribal chief. He leads the Bloodline, the biggest, toughest faction. He can't be seen laughing on camera, so he's got to hide it. Something funny happens. He's got.
But the thing is, he's in the middle of the ring, camera on him.
Yeah, camera's
And
focused
in front
on
of all
him
these
'cause-
people.
Yeah.
And he broke character, which is
The thing is, like,
best.
if you watch Roman, he breaks character all the time.
Oh, yeah.
He laughs his ass off in that ring. He has a great time, to be honest.
Actually, there was another time I remember someone breaking character. This is back with like DX and all those other guys. Now, this is back when there was a guy named Kofi Kingston.
Oh,
He
yeah.
was- you remember
Heard of
that?
this guy.
So, you know Kofi Kingston?
I love this.
I feel like I've heard of this character.
Okay,
He's
Kofi.
like a
started out-
Jamaican dude.
Yeah, he started out as like his whole gimmick was, "I'm from Jamaica and I'm a fast and jumpy wrestler."
Yeah, and he talks like this, man, that kind of thing.
Yeah, he
I
does,
can't.
like,
I
the
can't do a
really
Jamaican
over-the-top
accent.
Jamaican
sorry.
accent.
But, so they're all talking in the middle of the ring. Kofi comes up. Hey guys, why don't we do this or this? And Triple H is like, I got a question. Yeah, I got a good question.
Actually, I got a problem.
Yeah, aren't you supposed to be Jamaican?
Oh, I've
and
seen
like,
that clip.
In front of everybody, he's like, oh shit. He just has a look in his face like I'm fucked.
Since then, he never used the accent again.
Yeah,
Crazy.
no.
how
Yeah,
that worked.
Really?
Because he's playing a Jamaican guy, even though he's from like South Beach, Florida.
Yeah.
So a couple of promos that I got on here. Now, did you guys ever watch any of the old school ECW stuff?
Sparingly.
Every
What
now
you
and
can
again,
still
yeah.
dig up on the internet because most of it's lost media at this
Well,
point,
I'm
sadly.
pretty sure you can watch it on like Peacock now, but
Do they have it on Peacock now?
I could be wrong. It's probably going to go
Netflix
Netflix
soon,
in,
TBA.
in
Yeah.
January.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So a couple of the promos I remember. This is back when Stone Cold was stunning Steve Austin, and
Oh God!
yeah, and this was a time where stunning Steve Austin was in one of the big competitors at WWF, WCW.
Yeah.
And they fired him over the phone.
Yes.
Yikes.
WCW, you could do a whole podcast on about how awful of a company that
Bro,
place was.
that'd be a podcast.
That would be a long one too, unfortunately. Yeah.
So this guy was fucking pissed off, you know.
You fucking okay?
No, never okay.
Dumbass.
Fuck you.
So he was pissed off that WCW fired him
Yeah, of course. I would
over
be
the
too.
phone. So in ECW, the guy named Paul Hammond, who's the one that does all the storylines and shit, he's like, you know what? I'm going to give you the mic. Do whatever you want. One of the best promos.
Oh, shit.
He got on mic and he just spit
Fucking
facts.
went.
Oh yeah, he was fucking burying WCW, saying "you motherfuckers, you cowards," and awesome promo, very lengthy promo. And another one that was really good was Cactus Jack. He also did another very emotional promo. He's like in the camera, fucking screaming and yelling, voice cracking, and it's like, dude, this fucking guy is real. I fucking love
Boy's
those.
baby boy.
Well, I love those kind of promos that really blend reality and the storyline. You know, it's like this guy's actually a fucking psychopath.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm kind of sad that we don't get that. The promos like that nowadays are kind of feel more fabricated ever since the CM Punk one on the ramp at Raw, because now everyone's just
pipe
like,
bomb
oh,
promo.
it's a pipe bomb. It's always a pipe bomb promo. So now real promos feel so much faker because the real promos have been marketed.
Yeah.
Because I, as far as I remember, the pipe bomb promo was an unscripted promo.
Yeah, they.
I was just
going
going to bring that up too for
that
CM
they
Punk.
didn't want, but it became so popular and it put so many eyes back on WWE, and for this one pay-per-view, it ended up being
Slurpee.
it ended up being such a big thing for the company, even though he was talking very negatively about the company.
Yeah, he talks so much shit about the company, and the company just went ours now.
Yeah.
Damn.
No, he talked about John Cena, which is one of the popular guys at the time. He talked about the Big Boss Man, saying, when you die, your daughter and your doofus son-in-law are going to be running the company. He's saying all this on live television.
Oh, shit.
So, like, when I saw that, I'm like, holy
Man's
shit.
He
popping
was talking
up.
about the way that his friends got fired from the company. He was talking about the gimmick. His friend was in the company. If anyone remembers what Luke Gallows' gimmick was pre Straight Edge Society.
Yeah.
We'll just say Festus, and go.
Yeah.
You can look into it if you want. We're not going to talk about that here.
Yeah.
We're not the people for that one.
But letting him go, letting Colt Cabana go, he was talking about all that stuff. Saying like they were making mistakes, they were letting these very talented people go just out of ego and out of trying to save a quick buck.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's
It got to a point where he was going to get into even deeper shit, and they cut his mic.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. They cut his mic off. They went to commercial. When they came back, it was back to normal.
yeah. Yep.
Yikes.
I think it was end of the show.
Was it end of show?
Yeah, I think it
Yeah,
was
because it was after a match that Cena got put through a table.
it
or
was
something.
after Cena versus R-Truth in a table match.
I don't even remember.
What the fuck? What? That's a wild match. I mean, it was a Raw episode of Raw. So fair.
This was Little Jimmy R-Truth, if anyone remembers.
Oh, was
that.
it Little Jimmy? Okay,
Yeah.
Oh,
that makes
boy.
more sense. Yeah. I like Dementia Uncle R-Truth. He's pretty fun.
Yeah. Dude,
All
I
right,
love
R-Truth is fucking fun.
R-Truth is one of the best comedic wrestlers of all time. The man took a picture
He
with
wants to
Jelly.
talk about a good promo where he walks out and talks about how he's going to be in Money in the Bank, and Kane just shouts at him, "You're not even in the match."
And then he's like,
Oh, my bad, y'all.
or where he's in the Money in the Bank ladder match and he's talking about how he's scared of heights and scared of spiders and scared of this, that, and the other. And then the following Royal Rumble, he comes out.
Yeah, he brings a ladder out with him.
He grabs a ladder from under the ring, puts it in the middle of the ring, and then climbs up and looks for the briefcase, and it's not there because it's the Royal Rumble match.
and they're all the wrestlers just like, what the fuck?
And then someone just pushes the ladder and he's
Yeah.
out. He's gone.
Yeah,
He's got good comedy for the Rumble matches. He came out during the Women's Rumble one time.
Yeah.
So
That sounds hilarious.
first off, can we all just agree that he is immortal?
R-Truth?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't fucking age.
No.
No, he's like 60. Almost. He's
Like,
old.
Look
I
up
wanna say he's like
a
48.
picture of a 2002 R-Truth.
So-
and
Yeah, 'cause
now
he was, like,
R-Truth.
mid-30s
There
in
is no
2006.
fucking difference.
So the only difference that I could see is back then he had like long dreadlocks,
Yeah,
and now he just has like regular hair.
yeah.
But other than that, he looks practically the same. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Ron Killings. But I remember very recently he took a picture with Jelly Roll because Jelly Roll's like a big WWE producer now. Well, not producer. He just makes music for pay-per-views. And he's like, look, I finally got a picture with Post Malone.
Oh, shit.
He's 52.
Yeah.
Yeah. R-Truth is old.
He's an old head, but he's...
You wouldn't fucking guess
No.
that, though.
No, you look at him. He looks probably about 30.
Yeah.
Yeah, at best, you know.
Oh, speaking
Yeah, he
of
definitely does look
promos...
a lot younger than
we
he
were
is.
talking about
Yeah.
R-Truth. Let's talk about his partner, The Miz. And the famous...
Oh my god, I actually know
The famous Daniel Bryan promo.
You know, look.
Isn't that? I think that
Okay,
maybe
so that was on a post show called Talking Smack after SmackDown, where Daniel Bryan was like just acting like the victim, I guess, or something.
Daniel Bryan during
Daniel
Talking
Bryan was
Smack-
the yes guy.
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Yeah.
this guy.
Daniel Bryan at this point was put on the shelf because of neck injuries.
Right.
So he had to get surgery on his neck. He was not cleared to compete at all. And he was the host of the post SmackDown show.
I fucking forgot about this.
And he constantly talked negative about The Miz because The Miz is a very boring in-ring worker, but he can cut one hell of a promo.
He knows how to talk.
So he
Which is a
went
fair criticism.
off. The Miz came on the show and went off on Daniel Bryan.
Oh boy,
Made him walk off set and
Yeah.
everything.
So they obviously talked about it before, and they knew that it was gonna. They didn't go over specifics of what they would talk about, but it was supposed to end with Daniel Bryan hitting the Miz. He was supposed to punch the Miz.
That didn't happen.
It didn't happen.
Yep.
Because the Miz cut deep.
Yeah, he tore poor Daniel to
He
shreds.
tore
on live
Daniel
TV.
Bryan to shreds.
Yeah.
Yep.
That Daniel Bryan had to walk off set.
incredible.
It is a
and-
vicious ass promo. If you ever go back and watch it, it is mean. It is
Yep.
cold. It
But here's the thing, though. I agree with him.
He was
But don't get me
Miz
wrong. I
was
love
spitting
Daniel Bryan.
facts. Yeah.
But
yeah, he was
he-
spitting facts the whole
he
time.
wasn't talking shit. He was speaking the truth.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's like, that shit gave me goosebumps. Like, holy shit.
Yep.
because he was talking about like how Daniel Bryan couldn't cut it, how he was such an unsafe worker, that the Miz has been performing day in, day out. He's never had a long-term injury. He's never going to have a long-term injury. You can talk about me being boring all you want, but I'm still here. I'm still doing this. What are you doing?
Shit. Damn.
Yep. That was a fucking fantastic promo.
And then there's other promos I think of, like John Cena going off script against The Rock, talking about I don't need to write my promos on my wrist, because the week before you could see clear on live television that The Rock has Sharpie written down his wrist of notes for his promo.
John Cena's later career, after like the era of like him being just lol Cena wins, where he just started to embrace like I know y'all don't like me, I don't really care, and he just kind of came out and just did whatever the hell he wanted.
Yeah.
Like I remember one time he was like standing in the middle of the ring, he's like, "Yeah, I know you guys don't like me. How about this? How about a heel turn?" He like
Yeah,
dug
he's
his
literally
foot
doing
into
this
the
to his
mat.
heel.
Yeah, he's, like, he's just being an ass to the fans who don't like him.
But I like that shit.
That was
Chaotic-
great.
chaotic
Yeah.
It was
neutral
fucking
Cena.
hilarious.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And actually, speaking of you were talking about The Rock with him and Roman when Roman was coming up. They're both in the ring, and Cena's like, "Come on, kid, it's a promo. If you're gonna be top dog, you got to know how to do this."
Yeah,
And
yeah.
Roman, he was kind of stuttering and like stalling, and then at the end he's like, "Oh, Cena, you a bitch." And it's like, "Come on, kid, really?"
The best thing for Roman's promo game was him being the silent tribal chief and only speaking a few things at a time.
that is why he had Paul Heyman.
Yep.
Paul Heyman.
Paul Heyman, one of the best on the mic.
True.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
That's why Brock
honestly-
Lesnar had him too, because Brock Lesnar could not get a promo. To
Brock Lesnar did not have the voice for his body.
No.
Yeah.
Homie sounded like a fucking 10-year-old.
A 10-year-old that could whoop anyone's ass up and down the block.
Oh yeah, no, he looks like he eats bears while they're
enough.
alive. Yeah,
While they're alive.
You know who Brock Lesnar looks like, right?
Somewhat, yeah. I'm recalling the image in my mind. I'm gonna look it up.
Yeah, look him up.
Big, muscular man who has
And now
a
he's a-
tattoo
now he's
of something that resembles a dick on his chest.
it's supposed to be a knife, but it don't look like
It looks
Yeah,
like a dick.
don't tell him that though, because he'll probably kill you.
Yeah, that dude.
Yeah,
That
I
dude looks like
understand.
he eats bears.
Yeah, he could. Yeah.
My favorite thing that you see from Brock nowadays is like he just kind of does. He's just doing side quests. So like you'll just see a post on Instagram him holding like a 50 cal BMG sniper rifle, fucking boom, 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 just firing it off from his hip without
Jesus
dealing with like no
Christ.
recoil. Like he's just loving that shit.
Yeah.
Terrifying.
Yeah, but I think the past couple months he's been, kind of off the grid because of all the stuff that came out with Vince McMahon.
Yeah, you could do.
So wait, what happened with Vince McMahon?
So there's a Netflix documentary out
Okay.
that covers.
I
it,
wanna
that
watch that
I would
documentary
recap
so
it
bad.
for you. I haven't seen it, but I could recap what Vince did for you. That documentary does it way better, way clearer, and with way more stuff. To
So to give you the Cliff Notes version of what just recently came out, he was apparently sex trafficking I want to say a girl, but she was an adult, and basically using her for favors toward some of the talent,
Holy shit!
including Brock Lesnar.
yeah,
Yep.
yeah. No, it's not a pleasant topic to talk about. So watch
So-
the documentary on Netflix.
Yeah, so
Holy shit.
we're going to shift topics immediately.
Yep. So anyway, what else do you want to talk about? You were talking about some promos. You got more you want to talk about with those? Or-
We pretty much nailed all the promos I
Yeah.
liked.
Yeah.
But we can go into
Let's go into gimmick matches. I like gimmick matches.
You know-
I know you're pulling out your
Smooth
phone to
segue.
go to a different topic.
You're saying
Well,
gimmick
I
matches?
love gimmick matches.
And
yeah.
I don't think it's a gimmick match, but I'm thinking about one specific wrestler. I've seen this guy before. I can't think of his name, but he had a really showy entrance with like
Doesn't
girls
matter.
and everything, and then would come in.
Somebody call my mom.
I think that's it.
Somebody call my mama.
Yeah, that.
Call
Who
my
is it?
mama.
He'd come in and then he'd like instantly win, and then just walk out and be super showy again.
Brodus Clay.
Brodus Clay.
Brodus Clay, also known as Tyrus, who is a very controversial figure now.
Oh
because,
boy, what did he do?
Oh.
he is a Fox News talk show host.
Oh. I did
Wait,
not know
what?
that.
yeah, that's right. I was like, is it the Fox News guy or
It is the
like
Fox News guy.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that he does that. No.
So
But gimmick matches, like I feel like my favorite gimmick match of recent is a strap match. Good old fashioned strap match. Where two people get into a ring. They have a giant leather strap that goes to about the length of the ring from corner to corner.
Yeah.
And each person gets one end tied to their arm. So they can't get too
Their
far away from
arm?
each other.
So funny thing is, I think some of the older strap matches they had back in the day, they actually had like a collar around their neck.
That is a different type of match. That is a collar match. A dog collar match, which happened somewhat recently in AEW when CM Punk was in AEW. They had a dog collar match between MJF and CM Punk. One of the best matches I have seen.
I'm going to watch that
Storyline
match now.
Storyline wise.
I'm an old head for gimmick matches. Just give me TLC.
Yeah,
love
TLC.
TLC or a Hell in a Cell. You can't. I love those matches.
So I want to talk about that match. I love that match. So going to that match, years and years ago, when CM Punk was just making his name known in Ring of Honor, a young MJF got his picture taken with CM Punk, got something signed by CM Punk, and he grew up loving CM Punk. Well, then, shit happened with WWE where CM Punk just walked off and didn't wrestle for X amount of years. I think it was like 7, 8, 9, 10 years.
Damn.
I can't.
Yeah,
I
he had
can't
a
think-
prolific
It was a
UFC career
while.
during that time.
Yeah, prolific UFC career. He went 0.
three.
He only had 2 fights and one of them.
Did he skip out? No, he was scheduled for a third. Did he skip out on it?
Yeah, he retired before that, but
Right. Okay. Yeah.
he went
0-3 then.
he went 0-1-1
0-1-1.
because one of them got turned into a no contest because the other guy was using performance enhancing drugs.
Oh,
Interesting.
I didn't know that.
I remember hearing that and seeing that, and it was they literally went.
In
He
my
lost
mind,
in the
that's still
first
0-3.
round. Lol.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But-
In my mind, that's still an 0-3.
So then CM Punk obviously signed with AEW, coming back, continuing his wrestling career, which didn't really last too long and wasn't the best, but his work with MJF was phenomenal. The promo battles between the two, great, and it ended up coming to fruition in a dog collar match. Well, MJF, the ever-loving trickster he is, comes out first to CM Punk's theme music, Cult of Personality.
Oh yeah.
So he's like, I stole the thunder from you. You can't take it back. I stole your theme song. This is the thing that everyone knows you for. And then CM Punk comes out to his old Ring of Honor theme song. An AFI classic. I can't think of the name of it off the top of my head, but it is a banger. And he comes out with his old Ring of Honor gear on, which is a bunch of like white stuff with black X's because that's what he is. He's a big X guy. And then they have one of the best dog collar matches that ends with a lot of blood and a lot of brutality between the two of them.
Damn.
Great match.
I'm gonna have to watch that match now.
Great match.
So we're talking about gimmick matches. One of my all-time favorites, and this was the first match I saw that's ever done this. Back in ECW, Terry Funk and Sabu in a barbed wire ropes match.
I love those.
Was this Terry Funk pre his 14th or 13th retirement? Yeah.
Probably.
Terry
He
Funk's
was-
one of
he
the dudes
was
who retires
in-
like
he
every
was-
other week, it feels like. I feel like you always see him in something.
He was in his, I think, early 50s, I want to say, during that time.
Damn.
And so keep in mind, the ropes are just all replaced with barbed wire.
Yeah.
And this isn't no gimmick barbed wire. This is some real shit.
Yeah.
Because they fucking scrape their faces on it, fucking blood dripping down. Sabu, which he's known as a suicidal, homicidal, genocidal, death-defying Sabu. He'll do anything to take down an opponent. He fucking tore his bicep open, bleeding everywhere.
Jesus.
Told his manager, hey, can you give me some tape? I don't have any tape. I'll fucking find some tape. So he's literally taping his arm up during the match so it doesn't bleed everywhere. The match literally ends up with both of them entangled in a bush of barbed wire.
Dear God.
After the pin, and they need people to come over with wire cutters to get them out of this bush. Because they literally, I'm going to wrap myself in barbed wire. I'm going to wrap myself in barbed wire. And they're just beating the shit out of each other, and they can't get untangled.
That's
fucking
incredible.
They're fucking bleeding. They're fucking beaten. They've been put through 2 different tables. And it's like, holy shit.
This is really good underrated Sabu match from TNA when they still had the 8-sided ring. He did an 8-sided. It was like a hard. I don't remember the exact name of the match, but it was like a hardcore steel cage match.
Monsters.
against
I think it was Monsters Ball. You're thinking of
something like
Yes.
that.
Was it with Abyss?
Jeff Hardy?
Well,
With Hardy.
Sabu and Jeff Hardy had an extreme
I think-
8-sided cage match.
I think it was just called an extreme cage match,
Yeah.
where it was just a cage with a bunch of weapons like taped on the inside
all
of
over the
cage.
place. Yeah, and there was like the barbed wire board. There was barbed wire bat. There was
Trash
bats.
can.
trash
I
cans,
have a
full
feeling
of
I've seen
shit.
that match before. I don't remember anything from it now.
In
though.
TNA, they had
That-
like shopping carts taped onto it too.
Yep. That match, I remember seeing that when it was like one of the first matches I ever seen from TNA, which is wild to be one of the first matches to see from a promotion.
Wow.
I saw that match and you just went, that is one of the coolest fucking matches I've ever seen in my life, and it's always sticks in my head. I've gone back and watched it a couple times since then because one, it's nice to see Jeff Hardy being Jeff Hardy, and you don't see a lot of Sabu because he did very few televised stuff because he's an older guy, always kind of an older guy. So.
I mean, he's gotten the shit beat out of him over the
Yeah,
years. So
he
I
kind
don't
of
blame him.
he's kind of like a boxer where he takes 6 months to recover from a match
Yeah.
before he can even move again. So, but yeah, I remember that match, and I feel like I feel like I've never seen anybody talk about it, and I'm like, that match was kind of great
Yeah.
for just an episode of TNA, you know?
Talking about TNA and their gimmick matches, do you guys know about the Ultimate X match?
Don't.
Fuck yeah.
What are you?
What are you looking at?
Monsters Ball?
That's not the match we're talking about.
Yeah, it's
That's a different match. That's a decent
Abyss
match. though.
versus Jeff Hardy versus Rhino versus Sabu.
Nope. It's just Sabu and Jeff Hardy.
from what I remember. That's
8-sided ring, though. That looks really cool.
Yeah, I think it's
But-
1, 2, 3, 4,
So
5,
it's really
six-sided.
funny.
Six-sided, if I
It's
remember
really
correctly.
funny. Some of the old TNA guys have done interviews about it. Like, so what'd you think of the A-side ring? Oh, it fucking sucked. That the mat was so tight, it had no give
Yeah.
to it. So when you landed on boards.
Yeah.
The ropes were also terrible because they're shorter.
Yeah, they're shorter, so they were tighter. Like the guys talked about, like, oh, it was awful. It was just awful to work with.
Yeah.
It was a terrible ring. When they went to 4-sided, it was like, oh, thank God.
The ultimate.
Well, it makes sense because the ring was smaller too. So like when they're doing drills in wrestling, you have to like have so many steps in between going off the ropes. So you can like you can absorb the impact off the ropes and bounce off of them. With the 6-sided ring, you couldn't do that because it was so fucking small.
Yeah. So, Andrew, for the guy who doesn't know about wrestling, the Ultimate X match
Okay.
is basically a ladder match with no ladders.
What?
Yep.
They put this frame up and have basically an X above the ring and have an X hanging from the middle that you have to grab. And in order to do that, you climb up these blocks and
There are these things that you
scale
can climb up on and then climb to the middle.
like rafters, and then you scale across that to reach
Interesting.
the X. So there's times where a guy's like hanging upside down, getting the shit beat out of him because he's trying to win the match, and the guys are trying to stop him from winning the match. So a guy's basically upside down, legs around this thing, just getting the shit kicked out of him.
And it's what? 15, 20 feet above the ring?
Yeah, it's
Maybe.
like the same as a ladder match.
Jesus.
It's a ladder match but way worse.
Yeah. TNA does not have very good gimmick matches.
WWE doesn't either.
Like,
Hey, how about the Steel Asylum match?
are you talking about the Kennel from Hell?
Maybe.
No, you're talking about TNA, aren't you?
Yeah, when Jeff
Oh.
Hardy came back. Oh, yeah. That match was fucking bullshit.
Yeah.
So basically, it is a steel cage where the only way to escape is there's a little hole in the top. And you have to scale the cage, go up it, and out that hole. Somebody had a weapon, which was homicide, and he had like a nightstick or something. He got disqualified at the end of the match. This is a steel cage match, which is an extreme, no rules match, and they stopped the match because he had a weapon.
Yes.
That's ridiculous.
The entire crowd was chanting, "This is bullshit."
Hey.
And even when Jeff Hardy came back and returned, they were still chanting, "This is bullshit. This is a big fucking match you guys promoted, and you just flushed it down the fucking toilet."
Yeah.
Yeah, WWE did that a couple years ago too, with Seth Rollins versus The Fiend in a Hell in a Cell match, where for whatever reason they take this character who's a basically storybook creepy clown killer and decided to put him in the picture for the Universal Championship. Obviously, they don't want this killer clown storybook villain to win the title.
Yeah.
And obviously, they can't have him lose because that he'd lose all of his credibility. So they put him against Seth Rollins in a Hell in a Cell match. A match with no rules. You only win by pinfall or submission. Those are the only ways to win. And they end it by The Fiend getting buried in everything. And I think Seth Rollins... Doesn't Brock Lesnar come out and then bury both of them in a bunch of shit?
I don't know. That
And
match is a mess.
they ended
I don't remember watching the whole match. I remember hearing about it.
they ended it in a no contest.
Oh, that's so stupid.
So a match that has no rules, no disqualification, no nothing, just ends. No winner, no nothing.
Yikes.
Oh, I remember another match that they did. They ended it with a no contest. This was back with they had a ECW One Night Stand. It was the second one in 2006, and
Not the second one.
it was
no.
it was Sabu versus Rey Mysterio.
Oh, I think that happened the first one.
Was it the first one?
Yeah.
I couldn't remember.
It was early in the day in the first one.
So it was okay. So it was the first one. My apologies. And they now keep in mind, Sabu has done these barbed wire matches with tables, thumbtacks, all this bullshit. Rey Mysterio is an extreme luchador, can do all these crazy fucking high flying shit. They put, I think, if I remember correctly, they put a table over the table or the ring and the barricade, so it's bridged across them.
Yeah.
And I think Sabu gets DDT'd through it. They just go through a table. They ended it with a no contest.
I remember.
There was no blood. There was no, oh, my arm is bleeding everywhere. Oh, I'm in a bush of barbed wire. They just ended it.
I remember why they ended it. They ended it because Sabu got knocked unconscious.
Oh, shit. I forgot about that then.
And they obviously can't continue a match
When one of them is
when
unconscious.
one of them's asleep.
Yeah, I forgot about that then. That was
But still, like, he gets knocked unconscious, and then Rey Mysterio just kind of stands there for a second, and then gets told to go to the back.
Rey Mysterio's had some weird ring mishaps throughout his career.
yeah.
Don't talk about
I was
that.
going to say, hasn't he been pretty, cursed?
Don't talk about it.
Don't talk about it.
Don't talk about
You don't
it.
want to talk about Rey Mysterio killing a man?
He... Go ahead, talk about Rey Mysterio killing a man.
So I was in one of the it was in a Mexican indie promotion.
gonna say,
I
wasn't
believe.
it in the Mexican?
Rey Mysterio was just doing his typical wrestling. It was just a normal match, and I believe Rey Mysterio was 619 a guy, and he took it a little too hard in the chest.
It was the drop kick before the
It was a
619.
drop kick before the 619. Yeah, so he drop kicked this dude in the chest. Typical drop kick, and he falls to the ropes like he's supposed to, and as he's falling to the ropes, he has a heart attack.
Yeah.
I remember that.
Now it wasn't Ray's fault or anything really. It was just fucking unfortunate.
Yeah.
But dude ended up having a heart attack and dying as Rey Mysterio is 619ing him on the fucking ropes.
Because I remember watching Rey Mysterio drop kicks him. He falls up to the ropes, perfectly positioned for the 619. Rey Mysterio hits the 619, and this man is just still laying across the ropes.
He knows
So
and he's fucking.
So you can see
he's
Rey
just
Mysterio
gone.
hit it, and after he hits it, he usually stands on the apron, and then we'll do like a springboard move to get back in. And he just stands there, and he looks, and he's like, "Oh shit!"
Yeah.
And this was a multi-person match, so like this, it's not just Rey versus this guy.
Yeah.
So Rey Mysterio has to like go back in the ring and continue the match with the rest of the people, while the doctor tries to check on this guy who's
so they're
dying.
just keeping the match going when some dude just fucking died. Right there in the
Jesus.
ring. Like it is wild. Poor Ray. Ray is kind of cursed, sadly. But
Didn't he eventually get unmasked at some point, too?
it's like 4 times.
Oh, okay.
It's no secret.
Welcome to the era of WCW,
Save that for
Where-
a later
where
podcast.
unmasked Rey Mysterio was a guy.
He was
Incredible.
just a guy.
Yeah,
It's
literally.
crazy.
Yeah.
There's also been a lot of bad gimmick matches. You ever WWE's had a lot of them where it's like the most famous one that I think everyone points to is like the worst gimmick match you've ever seen is a Punjabi prison match with the Great Khali.
Yeah.
Then his specialty match that he never won.
They did 3 of those.
They did 3 of those.
Okay,
far
so
as
what
I
was
know.
up?
Punjabi prison match is basically a 3-tiered bamboo cage around the ring that you'd have to escape, but the doors only open at certain times.
Okay.
So either like, and the doors weren't like doors on the ground. It was like a halfway point up the wall.
Oh, boy.
So like, this will be open for the first 5 minutes of the match. Tier 2 will be open for the first 10 minutes of the match. There's no door on the third tier. So what would
You had to
happen?
climb the 3rd tier out.
Well, you'd have to climb up and either over the top or through the door to escape each tier.
Yeah.
And you don't win until you're out of the 3rd tier. Well, what would usually happen is the Great Khali would make it through the gate of the 1st tier, and then his opponent would come over the top because they didn't make it through the gate.
Yeah.
And then it happened again for the 2nd tier. Then the 3rd tier, his opponent would escape first because he's a big slow man.
But you see, the problem with this match was supposed to be the convoluted, silly rules. You couldn't see anything. It's 3 tiers of bamboo, and they aren't lined up. They're all over the place. So you're trying to watch the match through like little like fence slits, essentially.
Oh, that sounds awful.
Yeah, you can't see the match going on. The only way to watch it is through like the pay-per-view it's on, because the camera angles are in the
and
the
even then,
and even
it's
then it was
still
It's like
a
the old
mess to
blue.
watch.
It's like the old blue steel cage from back in the day.
They did,
Yeah, you can't see
they did
it.
a blue steel and a red steel cage
Yeah.
for Hell in the Cell or steel cages, and then they'd shot like it was the same match that I talked about earlier, the Fiend versus Seth Rollins. Well, the Fiend's gimmick was like creepy psycho clown killer. They shine red lights to like amplify.
Oh my
that.
god, that looks awful.
And, and
That is awful.
imagine being in attendance for this Hell in a Cell match that's in a red cage. Yeah. A Hell in a Cell match that's in a red cage, and then they put red lights on it as amplification. So you just see a mess of red. You can't even see the match anymore.
Sometimes it pays to be colorblind. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Hi, it's me.
So like during 2 of the Punjabi prison matches and during that Hell in a Cell match, the crowd just kept chanting, "We can't see." Clap, 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 clap. We can't see.
Speaking of gimmick matches where you can't see anything, Inferno matches.
Oh god.
The fire on the side of the rings, you can't see shit through the smoke, and like it's melting the ring ropes and all that fun shit. All just so like Kane can get his sleeves set on fire because he never won one of his own gimmick matches.
I'm pretty sure he's won at least one or two.
Did he win one? I can't remember. I just know he didn't. He's like the Undertaker, never winning a buried alive match.
Yeah, but that's because he did win one.
Did he win one?
He won the one against Kane because it was if Kane won.
Oh, is that the one where he buried?
Yep. If Kane won,
Paul Bearer in
Bearer
cement?
was going to get
Yeah.
coated in cement. So
Yeah.
Undertaker won and then did it his damn self.
Yep. Yeah. Gimmick matches are fun. Not a lot of them are good.
Yeah. All right.
So going from gimmick matches to your favorite matches. Now I know you've already said MJ and CM Punk, but now you guys actually have a list of favorite matches you can think of, and you've also mentioned one already too. So
Yeah. I again, I'm just an old head, so like you got to do Undertaker versus Mankind at Hell in a Cell. The Hell in a Cell. That match, every time I watch it, it is a banger match.
That one actually came up in one of the searches that I was doing. And I
Yeah.
was like, that looks interesting.
Yeah. Well, the unscripted fall through the top of the cage is kind of the sell. This is the point most people
Like
remember
peak.
that match, but like not peak. It's terrifying, but like most people remember that part of the match. But like if you just watch the match, it's a great match. Mick Foley and Undertaker can work, and they put it in for that match.
what's funny about that match too? Undertaker talked about that match, I think, on his podcast when he goes through the fucking cage onto the mat. Taker's like, "Mick, move."
Yeah, he's like terrified.
Come on,
He's
move.
like, "I didn't kill you, right?
It's like,
Please."
oh, thank God, he's breathing.
But
When
if
you're questioning if your coworker's alive or not.
I still do that. It's cool. But
One of the few job opportunities where you're allowed to question if your coworker's alive while you're working with them.
yep.
Yep.
Another one of my favorite matches of all time is it's another Undertaker match. It's Undertaker Shawn Michaels at WrestleMania.
Which one?
25?
20, probably. I think it's 25 because I think it's no. Is it 25 or 26? The one that
Was it-
Shawn retires.
I was going to say, was it 1 or 2?
It was-
So you're thinking of 2.
I think it's 2. That match is fantastic.
Oh shit!
I like
that's a
the first one where
They're both good. If I could say both and just put them in the same slot, I would
Yeah.
because they're just fucking fantastic matches. Another Shawn Michaels match that's a 10 out of 10 is Shawn Michaels Ric Flair at WrestleMania.
Oh, heartbreaking.
I'm
match.
sorry, I love you into the Sweet Chin music. It's just that if any fan of wrestling watches that moment and doesn't get a little like, damn, you're lying to yourself. That's a tough moment to watch, but it's tough for all the right reasons.
And then Ric Flair pissed on his career going to
And then Ric Flair went to TNA. Anyway,
TNA.
Is this the
Love
one we were
TNA.
talking about?
We all love TNA, right?
Yeah.
No. Talking about taking multiple matches and putting them into one category. I love the multiple matches in New Japan of Kenny Omega versus Kazuchika Okada.
fair.
Banger matches, especially the last one. Obsessed with that match.
Yeah, he wasn't supposed to fall through the cell there. That wasn't supposed to happen.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
So I remember Kenny Omega versus Kazuchika Okada for the New Japan Pro Wrestling Heavyweight Championship. Kenny Omega's last match in New Japan
certainly
under
loves it.
contract with New Japan,
Yeah.
putting over Kazuchika Okada. He came out to a song from Undertale.
Wait, what?
I knew.
Yeah, Kenny's a nerd, dude. We said this
okay.
Yeah,
earlier.
Kenny Omega is actually a video game nerd.
That's cool.
Yeah.
He dressed up as Sans for Halloween.
Yeah.
Not even kidding.
I gotta see that. I love how the entirety of the referees and like medics are like swarming.
Yeah, because they don't know if Mick Foley just fucking died or not. He didn't, but like,
Yeah.
Holy shit!
So, speaking of hard-fought, hard-hitting matches, now, again, I'm a big ECW guy. I was going to put one specific match on here, but whenever these two wrestled, it was always just like a really just painful-looking match. Whenever Taz and Bam Bam Bigelow wrestled in ECW.
yep, yeah, those two had some fucking.
Those fuckers beat the shit out of each other.
It's because they didn't like each other. That's like the best part. That was like real. Just like I cannot stand this
Yeah,
motherfucker.
and like one of the points I remember, the walkway came up to the ring on one of the matches they had, and Taz decides to fucking Tazplex Bam Bam off the fucking walkway over the barricade into the crowd.
Yep.
And as Taz is going backwards, he himself lands head first into the barricade, falling down probably like 5, 6, 7 feet, getting whiplash from the barricade as he's fucking flying, and they just get up like nothing fucking happens.
The low-key best part of this podcast that the listeners are not going to get to enjoy is the fact that Suitcase is watching matches and gimmicks and stuff as we talk about them because he has no fucking clue. We know what we're talking about. He has to learn.
Always dress up as Sans.
Awful.
That man gets paid millions of dollars to
That
kick
is
people in the head.
so bad.
Watch the pyro. He just puts his thumb up. Oh no, he does the shrug. I forgot about that. Yeah.
Is it? It's playing Megalomania. Amazing.
Yeah.
Yep.
I love it.
Kenny
So-
Omega is one of the greatest wrestlers of all time.
That's
in my personal
incredible.
No, I like Kenny Omega.
Did he stay in
I need to
costume
sit.
the
I just need
entire
to
night?
sit
He
down.
took the mask off, but
I need
He
to
stayed
sit
with the
down
hoodie and everything.
and
That's
watch more of
hilarious.
his matches. I've only seen like a handful of his matches.
They're kind of hard to watch because he did a lot of his best stuff in New Japan, and it's if you can deal with the Japanese commentary, it's okay. But like, it can be a little tough if you can't find the English one.
yeah.
Yeah,
I don't really mind that.
yeah.
One of the other matches, let's see. So Taz, Bam Bam. I talked about Sabu and Terry Funk. Talked about Shawn and Taker at 25. Let's see. Another match. I don't know if you guys even remember this match. It was just on a regular Monday Night Raw. It was John Cena and Shawn Michaels, and they wrestled for 1 full hour.
I do. Was it an Iron Man match, or was it just an? Or did it just
I don't
go on?
remember. It's been
can't
so long
remember
since
either.
I watched it.
But I know what match you're talking about.
And it kind of shocked me.
That-
It's like, this is going on a lot longer than I thought.
Yeah.
And it's like, shit, this is pretty damn good.
That was I remember it vividly because they had a hell of a match at WrestleMania the night before. It was the Monday Night Raw after Mania, where John Cena squeaked out a victory over Shawn Michaels to win the WWE title.
Hell yeah.
Shawn Michaels the next day came out and cut a promo of how like John Cena got lucky and everything, and then John Cena came out and he said basically, "All right, let's go round 2 right now."
Skill issue.
Yep.
Really good match.
And I remember
It's one of those matches that shows off, like, people always talk about John winning, just haha, Cena wins matches, but like that shows off that John was really fucking good in the ring. He's always been good at his job.
at the time too. That was when John Cena and Shawn Michaels were WWE Tag Team Champions.
Right.
Yep.
Yep.
Why were they Tag Team Champions together?
It was funny.
Who knows? It's one of those.
Funny.
It's
One of those moments where Vince just went, "This will be funny. Let's do it."
Well, it's one of those where like I hate you, you hate me. We banded together to beat the Tag Team Champions because we're just that fucking good.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
And then I remember how they lost the titles. It was very funny because they got on the nerves, kayfabe-wise, of Jonathan Coachman, the general manager of Monday Night Raw. And he was like, you know what? You guys think you're so funny. You're going to defend those titles in a tag team Royal Rumble match right now. And then they brought out 14 other teams. So it was a 30-man tag team Royal Rumble match with the weird stipulation of you can win without your teammate. Basically, everyone has to be eliminated. They win the first one. Then Jonathan the Coachman comes out and says, you know what? Round 2. We're going for a second one. And the way they lost their titles was Shawn Michaels super kicking John Cena, throwing him out of the ring, and then eliminating himself.
Incredible.
For some fucking reason.
It's one of them cases. It would be Vince. I think Vince just went, it'll be funny. Do it.
Yeah, exactly. But we actually mentioned ECW, well, WWE's first in ECW. I believe this was for the ECW title. But it was CM Punk and John Morrison. It was just a regular episode of ECW.
The undefeated John Morrison. Going by at the time, was he Johnny Nitro?
Yeah, he was Nitro.
No, I think that's when he just turned into John Morrison, if I remember correctly.
I don't think
was it pre-Miz and Morrison?
I don't think he was John Morrison until he came to either Raw or SmackDown.
Really?
I don't think he was Morrison.
I thought he was Morrison.
It doesn't matter. We know him as John Morrison. Let's just keep going that way.
John Morrison, Johnny Nitro, Johnny Wrestling, Johnny Mundo, Johnny Impact, Johnny Elite, Johnny.
Well, anyways, it was a really good match. Very
Johnny, insert last name.
Yeah, it was a really good match, and they had a second match at a big pay-per-view, but that one wasn't as good as the first one, if I remember correctly. Mm-hmm. But that was a really good match. Let's see. And another Shawn Michaels match. Now, I think this is an underrated match because it was kind of like a generation versus generation thing. It was Chris Jericho and Shawn Michaels at WrestleMania 19. If you've ever seen that match.
That's a solid match, too. Shawn Michaels really earns the nickname Mr. WrestleMania because you notice like most of the matches we've talked about with Shawn Michaels has done really well. It's been at WrestleMania.
Yeah, fair enough.
I also have to say about Chris Jericho, even though right now he's kind of just mundane and boring and nobody wants him on TV, the amount of times that man has reinvented himself and came up with a new gimmick for himself is astonishing.
Because most wrestlers are like one gimmick their whole career.
Yep.
And Jericho keeps reinventing himself to be relevant to where people either love him or hate him. It's like, hey, I'm getting a reaction. I'm getting money.
If you want to know how good Jericho ever is, he had an entire gimmick where he didn't say a damn thing.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And it was popular.
Huh.
He just showed up, stared, held the mic in his hand, left.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
Because it was the whole thing of him coming out, the crowd cheering for him. He gets a mic. He like holds it up to his mouth, looks out. He smiles. Puts the mic down, like acts like he can't talk. Does it again, and then puts it down in the middle of the ring. Puts it down in the middle of the ring, walks out. And then he had a gimmick later on of, I have a piece of paper on a clipboard where I write down everyone's name that has wronged me.
He did like the middle
Bruce.
school like
Bruce.
funny thing.
Brucey, you know what happens when you anger me. You know what happens when you have disrespected me. You just made the list. That's literally what I did. I just has a
His
clipboard
best
and writes
friend,
his name
Kevin
down.
Owens.
Yeah.
Don't talk about Kevin Owens' friends.
Dude, the one fucking match where Jericho is hoisted up in a cage and he's like reaching down, Kevin, save me, Kevin, please. That fucking shit was gold.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I love that shit.
Shark cage match. Amazing.
Shark cage matches in general are silly. Speaking of, there's gonna be one soon with Dom in a cage over Rhea and.
Is there actually?
Yes.
I did not.
Yes, they're gonna put Dom Mysterio in a cage.
I didn't see that. That's amazing.
Yeah. Again.
I still remember the one with Enzo above the cage of him just kind of slipping out and then immediately getting destroyed by his former tag team partner, Big Ass.
Big ass.
Speaking of us talking about Undertaker too. Now, I wasn't entirely sure how this match was going to go. CM Punk and Undertaker at WrestleMania 29.
It was a decent match. I didn't feel like it was bad, or I didn't feel like it was good. It was just it was
This was post streak, wasn't it?
no.
No.
No, the streak was so relevant.
This is one of the matches going in where you knew Undertaker was going to win.
Yeah.
Right.
Because CM Punk was not the established talent he was later in his career.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't
Oh,
say...
was this during like the whole like the Undertaker had his new submission, the Hell's Gate fiasco?
Yes, because I
Yeah.
think he actually applied
Okay.
it to him in the match.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that now.
You know, I'm not saying it was like one of the greatest matches of all time, but I was shocked that this is a lot better than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be a squash match.
Yeah.
But CM Punk actually got his offense in, and it's like, you know what? This is actually pretty decent.
See, squash matches at WrestleMania only happen to Daniel Bryan.
Or Chavo Guerrero.
Who?
Yeah, exactly.
Daniel Bryan.
Yeah. Oh.
Speaking of the Undertaker matches at WrestleMania, the one match that I still firmly believe where the Undertaker should have lost the streak instead of against Brock Lesnar was against Bray Wyatt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can agree to that. But
Dude, when he
WWE
lost...
just did not know what to do with Bray.
Oh, dude, when he lost that match, though.
That match wasn't even the most heartbreaking loss Bray had. The worst one was him versus John Cena at WrestleMania.
Yep. That match was so fucking goofy.
Yeah.
There's a match where he did in the corner, he did his spider thing in the corner, and then like they projected like maggots onto the
No, that was
match.
him versus Randy.
Was that Randy?
That was Randy.
I don't know. I can't.
Him versus John Cena was still Wyatt family and everything, so they got involved. Obviously, John Cena fends them off. And at one point, Bray Wyatt's on his knees. John Cena has a steel chair that he just used to help.
Oh, this was
fend
the
him.
give into the hate thing, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah.
And Bray is just standing there, arms wide open, saying, "Do it, John. Give in to the hate. Do it."
That wasn't the
And
chair,
then-
was it?
And then then John Cena threw the chair away and beat Bray Wyatt clean.
Yeah.
Because, John Cena wins, lol.
Yeah.
John Cena wins.
John Cena wins.
LOL.
Fatality.
And another... I couldn't just pinpoint one specific match. Anytime RVD and Sabu wrestled each other.
Yes.
Yeah.
Again,
You
there's
could
this-
you could point to like any RVD match and say that's a good match because RVD just worked. He
Yeah.
just knew what he was.
I mean, especially with him and Sabu, because they knew each other so much, they just beat the shit out of each other.
They really just beat the shit out.
And it was awesome.
They had a grand old time just pummeling each other.
Two best bros.
Literally. I mean, they traveled together all the time.
Damn.
And they actually
best.
got busted for...
Marijuana possession
Yeah.
together.
It's actually why RVD lost the WWE title, because of the weed scandal thing.
He was a pothead.
He's smoking the grass.
Damn. The devil's
I don't know.
lettuce.
I'd rather
whole
I'd
devil's
rather them
lettuce,
do
dude.
that than fucking steroids and shit, but whatever.
Meth.
You know how vindicated RVD feels with marijuana getting legalized? He's probably just like, yeah.
Well, I
Yeah,
think,
can I get my title back? I
think-
earned
yeah.
that.
I think he got inducted to the Hall of Fame after
He did.
marijuana became
Yeah, he did,
more okay.
Incredible.
And two more I got. Well, I don't know if I should do this one
Do it.
next.
Do it.
Oh, do
So-
you want me to interrupt and do a match that a quote unquote match that I really enjoyed over the past couple years? COVID WrestleMania Firefly Funhouse.
That was fucking weird, but that was entertaining.
What happened?
See the match like that match and like the horror house matches and stuff that have happened because of COVID and during the time, like the famous like AJ and Undertaker match.
Yeah.
and stuff like
That match is awesome.
That match
Those
is
matches, while let's be honest, like they're okay, they're not great, matches in air quotes, they are so fucking entertaining as like their own little things. They're so fun just to watch because you just have no fucking clue what's going on
The things they had to do during the COVID era of wrestling
to make it relevant.
to make things good. So the Firefly Funhouse match was Bray Wyatt versus John Cena again at WrestleMania. And it was basically a cinematic experience of going through the past.
We got a live cutscene.
Yeah, going through like the past of John Cena, going through the past of wrestling, going through the past of WWE and like Hulk Hogan, Macho Man Randy Savage, doing a bunch of just skits with John Cena and Bray Wyatt.
Yeah.
For reference, by the way, Firefly Funhouse was like
so
Bray Wyatt became like a Blue's Clues type host.
Yeah.
Where something would always be just a little weird every couple episodes because Bray Wyatt is the Fiend. So like it was kind of themed around his like little horror universe he made up.
Yeah.
So like Blue's Clues, but like horror universe cleaned up for kids, but still being a little weird. So that's what.
Okay.
That's
things were a little off.
Yeah.
Just a little sus.
So they went through a bunch of things, and they went and revisited the John Cena versus Bray Wyatt WrestleMania match where John Cena should have hit Bray with the chair. And they reenacted that, where then John Cena does hit Bray with the chair, and then they cut over to like him doing it over and over again, and then the Fiend comes out and just destroys John Cena.
Wild ass match.
And that's how it ends.
Interesting.
And it's so funny because Titus O'Neil was the host of the COVID WrestleMania. So you see the end of the match. The Fiend has the mandible claw in John Cena pinning him. The mandible claw is just like fingers in the mouth.
Yeah.
And then Bray Wyatt counts the pinfall, even though he is the Fiend. But, cinema.
Yeah.
And then it cuts back to Titus O'Neil, blank face, hands on his head, like, what did we just watch?
Titus World Slide, baby. Let's go.
But here's the thing, though. During that era, they unless we get another pandemic, they're never gonna have something like that again.
It was some of the best, worst wrestling you'll ever see in your life.
Yeah,
Okay.
I hated the early era when there was like no attempt at a crowd, and it was just like silence in the arena. There was no crowd noise. You just heard the sounds of wrestling. You could hear them call out moves and stuff. It's like, it was awful.
That's what they
so
did
bad.
in WWE and AEW, which were both the televised.
Then they started doing.
promotions.
I think AEW started at first, where they would have the wrestlers be the crowd.
AEW put their own wrestlers.
Yeah, they
in
put the
crowd,
whole roster out, and, they would,
then
like, watch matches. And
WWE went a different direction and put screens across the whole.
Yeah,
arena.
They made their own arena
And-
in their like little center they owned in Florida called the Thunderdome,
And they
where
let
they would have like just tons of LED screens. You buy a ticket and you put your webcam on the mic. So your webcam was on for your seat in the arena.
so they've
I
they've
couldn't
had
see
a
that
bunch,
going terribly wrong.
There was a lot of good moments with that.
So they've
Were there?
had people
There's a
hold
Pikachu
signs
one
that are
Hell yeah.
There was a Pikachu the whole time for one.
Yeah.
They've had people hold very inappropriate signs in front of it.
they had
that
one
they-
dude like they had one dude just pounding beers one time. That was hilarious.
They're so
I'm
lucky.
surprised there wasn't anyone jerking off on
Yeah,
them.
that's
There
what I
was
was
a
gonna
couple.
say.
Yeah.
Was there actually?
They're so lucky they didn't have anyone do that on television.
They were pretty heavily moderated too, so you wouldn't get far if you tried.
So like people could hold up signs that said something kind of like off key, something
Yeah.
that they wouldn't promote, and they'd get pulled eventually. But they wouldn't have anyone just like me out pounding it. Because that is, I feel like that would be very
Even
easy
then,
to
like the
catch.
Pikachu only lasted like the half of the show before they cut his feed.
Well,
Damn.
they cut the Pikachu's feed, and then the next show they allocated one screen specifically for them
That's incredible.
because the backlash on Twitter and everything. They're like, this wasn't even anything
Bro, it wasn't even
negative.
that bad. It was just kind of funny. What the fuck? And then they're just like, fine, here, you can have your stupid Pikachu.
But yeah, like you said, there's not going to be another era like that ever again. Hopefully.
Yeah.
seriously.
I don't know.
And
We are
before
missing
Super-
one person due to illness today.
And before Super
how it
Mega
starts,
AIDS
man.
comes.
Super mega AIDS.
Yo, there's a South Park episode about that.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of eras that will never happen again.
I thought he was about to say, speaking of AIDS. I was like, what?
Speaking of AIDS.
Yo, is this our
No.
sponsor segment for a charity or something?
Yeah.
One of the matches I thoroughly enjoyed: Triple H, Shawn Michaels, and Chris Benoit WrestleMania 20. When Benoit
The
won
match
world
you're not
title.
allowed to talk about.
Yep.
Oh,
And
boy.
by that you mean Triple H, Shawn Michaels,
Big stretch.
I just
and
bumped the shit out of the mic
Redacted.
on my chest.
Yeah.
Just bumped the shit out of the mic on my chest.
Yeah.
Who
So
shall not be named.
yeah. So the reason why. So Suitcase.
Did I just witness a sexual assault?
It wasn't sexual. I just smacked him.
Oh, okay.
But does the listeners know where you smacked him?
Right in his big belly.
I am
That's what he wants you to think.
It sounded like
Suitcase is
cock
bending
slap.
over,
my
bare ass, and just smacked him.
Look, if I smacked his giant ass, it would have echoed. I only smacked his stomach.
my pee-pee is big now.
You don't have a pee.
All right, Maze Boy, go ahead and go off about how that match affected you.
Yeah.
How you enjoyed that match.
Sorry, had to give Suitcase his
So-
moment to shine.
Absolutely fantastic. So
Bitch.
So the whole thing with this match is the reason why they're saying it's a guy that can't be mentioned anymore.
Jesus Christ. Go ahead.
The guy that can't be mentioned anymore. So during this match, you never really expected this guy Chris Benoit to win because
Okay.
he never won a world title. He was a big dude, but he was short.
Yeah.
Never really made it serious. So we're like, oh, you could be a main eventer. He's not 6'6", 300 pounds of muscle, you know? So during this match, right at the end where you think that, I think didn't he have Triple H in the crossface?
I cannot remember.
I think he had Triple H in the crossface,
I wish I could remember, but you can't watch the match anymore, so I can't say my memory's been jogged because you can't see the match.
I got it on DVD, so I'm good.
Oh yeah.
So, but, you know, it's just like, he has him in a submission hold. He's like trying to reach for the ropes, He's like, oh, he's going to get out of it, but he fucking taps. And like, holy shit, this is a big deal. Because again, he's never won a world title in his whole career in WWE.
Is that where Eddie came out and like lifted him up on his shoulders and stuff?
Yep.
Yeah.
And his friend, which is in a similar situation, won the title on the opposite show. And there's like confetti coming down. They both embrace and hug each other. He's fucking crying. He finally won the world title, finally hit it big time. And years later in 2007, he went into some roid rage or something and killed both.
They don't attribute it to roid rage anymore.
Heavy
They attribute it
CTE.
to heavy CTE. Because remember, his finisher was the diving headbutt.
Yeah, I couldn't remember if it was roid rage or something like that.
That's what they
but-
initially billed it as, but as they did more research, because they obviously looked at his brain was like fucking mush. It was
Yikes.
bad.
And he killed his wife and his child.
And himself.
And yeah, once
I did hear about
and
that.
once he realized what he did, he killed himself.
Yeah.
So the Monday Night Raw that happened. Now, keep in mind, I'm this kid in 2007. Oh, I'm going to watch wrestling, Monday Night Raw. Nobody in the audience. The entire arena was empty. Stage empty. Vince McMahon standing there. Ladies and gentlemen, we regret to inform you that Chris Benoit is dead. And at this time, the news didn't break out on how it happened.
Yeah.
So they showed like this tribute of Chris Benoit, dedicated a whole show to him, and all the wrestlers just fucking bawling, talking about how great Chris Benoit was. And not even 24 hours later, I'm pretty sure, they found out why it happened, and they're like, we have to erase him from history.
Yeah. So from that moment on till still today, Chris Benoit is not anywhere in WWE's mentions. You go to watch old shows where he's been on them, he's not talked about. He's not mentioned. His name is blurred. His matches are gone. He does not exist to the WWE anymore.
Not every match he's been a part of has been erased.
Some you have to keep, like,
So-
you can't erase a Rumble.
Yeah.
He's been in
I'd say
Royal
there-
Rumbles. You can't erase those.
There,
because those
there are
30 plus
Rumbles he
minutes.
is in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Obviously, there are still major pay-per-views that he was a part of that they didn't delete his match because it was a part of a main thing that happened.
Yeah.
Not with him, obviously, but
Yeah, but for the most part, he's just been erased from history.
but the worst part about that was the week before this happened. The end of Monday Night Raw was Vince McMahon slowly walking to his limousine, getting in his limousine, and then as he closes the door in his limousine, it explodes. So you're left off of Monday Night Raw the 1 week. Vince McMahon's dead. He blew up right in front of your eyes.
Yep.
And then the next week is him coming out and telling you that Chris Benoit is dead.
They completely dropped that story. They completely dropped that storyline.
Yeah.
And keep in mind, at the time, well, Benoit's still one of my favorite wrestlers. I just, love his in-ring work, obviously. But I was destroyed.
Well, I mean,
realizing what happened and then realizing the truth.
At the end of the
hurt
day,
even worse.
At the end of the day, it really goes to show you like how dangerous. Like a lot of people say, like wrestling's fake, wrestling's this, but like look at it, look at what happened to him at the end of the day. Like there's very obvious, real injury, real.
The amount of wrestlers who abuse pain medication because of the pain and suffering they take in the ring.
Exactly.
Like. So many.
Well, and like he said, by the time they like looked at his brain, it was just mush.
Yep.
He's also from a era that, thank God, is well gone. Of if you're hurt, you keep it a secret, because if you're hurt, if you say you're hurt, you're not going to be put on shows because you're hurt.
Yep.
People aren't going to want to work with you because you'll get hurt. So he's probably had like multiple concussions that he's worked through, and especially for him where his finisher is a diving headbutt, he's gotten concussion on top of concussion on top of concussion.
And it's just pathetic that was the era that he was in. You just keep hush hush or else you're not going to get any money.
Yeah.
Another good victim of that era is always I always attribute to Eddie. Chris Benoit's unironic one of his best friends who died. It was a little bit before Chris Benoit's stuff happened. Like
about a year. I want to say it was like a year
2004,
5, I think.
It was either way. It was a couple
5 or
years
4.
before the Chris Benoit stuff happened.
Yeah.
Eddie died of like a heart attack attributed to like chronic pain pill.
And he was like,
Jesus.
wasn't he like 36 or something?
Yeah,
he was young.
Yeah. They found him dead in his hotel room from a heart attack.
And Eddie will go down as one of the best to ever do it.
He was so good. He was so good at so good, and he could add such a like. You even go back to watch his early matches in WCW.
Yeah,
he was so fucking good. He was one of the best wrestlers of all time, and his life cut so short because of just the era you had to be in.
And I think when Eddie died too, I think that really destroyed Benoit because Benoit was shown as this take no shit, very respectful, but he will fucking kill you kind of guy.
Yeah,
they interviewed him about Eddie afterwards, and he was bawling.
He was fucking just crying tears,
completely just devastated.
I think a lot of that had to do with just one of his best friends dying, and people saying that it's all fake shit. I mean, even Hulk Hogan, he was interviewed. It's like, wow, this is fake. I've had 22 surgeries on my body throughout my entire career.
Yeah.
I have bad knees. I have a bad lower back. I have a bad this.
Like, sure, there's some factors of it that are staged, but everything that happens is still real. All the moves are real. You're still taking real potential for injury.
You're landing safely and doing things safely to your partner that in the match, but you mess up once, you just one little angle off, and you could potentially paralyze and or fucking kill somebody.
Did you say Owen Hart and Stone Cold Steve Austin?
To me, it seems like it's just a mixture of acrobatics with really good acting.
Pretty much.
And it's like, if you can't do the acrobatics right, you're going to get hurt.
Do you want to explain Owen Hart and Stone Cold?
So, Owen Hart and Stone Cold. So, we talked about the Tombstone earlier, which is a pile driver. Basically, the way you are supposed to sell that move is you're supposed to tuck your head at a certain angle, and your partner's supposed to stop dropping you at a certain angle, at a certain moment. During a match with Owen Hart and Stone Cold Steve Austin, Owen Hart put Steve Austin into the Tombstone pile driver.
Yeah,
but it wasn't called the Tombstone because that's the Taker's thing. It was just a pile driver. He dropped him down, but he didn't let Stone Cold angle his head between the legs and drop Stone Cold right on his fucking neck.
Because with the pile driver, you're supposed to, like, here's the legs. The head's not supposed to be past your legs.
Yeah.
When sitting down.
Yeah.
His head was
So,
clearly
basically-
past his legs.
Yeah.
And boom, spiked him on his head.
You're basically supposed to tuck your head in your partner's legs, so that way when they sit down, you're like, it's the back of your head is touching the mat and not your head.
Yeah.
So when he dropped him, he didn't get to tuck his head.
Oh shit!
So he just dropped him right on the fucking top of his head, right on his neck.
Yeah, so Stone Cold was talking about it. With, like, the Undertaker's tombstone, he drops to his knees because the knees are safer.
Yeah, it's safer,
easier.
easier, and it's Taker. It looks like it hurts.
So
yeah, true.
instead, Owen Hart set up Stone Cold like he was going to drop to his knees. This head's positioned where if he drops to his knees, his head's not going to hit. Instead, he just basically jumps and sits on his ass.
Yep.
So there's the whole length of the
And like I
leg.
said, you can clearly see his head past his legs. And just boom.
The aftermath of that is Stone Cold laying in like the middle of the ring, partially paralyzed for a moment,
and
Holy
then,
shit.
And then continuing the match.
and then he continued the match.
Jesus.
And again,
But
that was
that
that
is
era
the sole
of
contributor as to
you
why
don't talk
Stone
about your
Cold
injuries.
was a
just
shorter
fucking go.
career.
You gotta finish the match.
Jesus.
After that, he still, like, got time off and was never the same.
Yeah.
He was
That significantly contributed to why Stone Cold only his really good run that everyone knows him from is only like 5 years.
Jeez.
Or we can tell the
He wasn't
story
even
about just Owen Hart in general.
Yeah.
Well, see, the thing with Owen Hart was always kind of known as a very unsafe wrestler for your partner and stuff. And I know we're kind of ignoring what happened to Owen Hart.
That's what I was more leaning
Is that what
toward.
you want to lead into?
That's what I was more leaning
instead of his
toward.
work ethic. Okay, well, yeah. So Owen Hart is one of the few wrestlers, the only wrestler in WWE history to die in the ring.
Oh shit. Okay.
He had
Kind
a
of.
gimmick where he was called like the Blue Bomber or something.
Blue Blazer, something
Blue
like that. I
Blazer.
don't remember now.
Yeah, where he was a superhero and he'd come down on wires into the center of the ring like a superhero.
Yeah.
like
Come
he'd
down
land.
from the ceiling.
Yeah. So one night they were going to do that for a match when the rigging failed, and he fell 30 feet
At
into the
least.
center of the ring, and
He fell
In
onto
front
the
of a
crowd.
live audience.
in front of the
Yeah.
live audience.
He fell into the crowd. He
fell into the crowd?
Oh, I couldn't.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There was
okay.
blood
Well-
on the side of the ring, though.
Like, he fell into the crowd heading toward the ring. So he still, like, went toward the ring.
Right. Yeah. So he fell like 30 feet, landed, dead, straight
Oh,
up dead.
shit.
Yeah. There was like blood on the mat from where he landed and stuff because I guess he
Yeah,
hit
bounced
it.
into the crowd.
Yeah,
That's what it was.
he hit it on his way down and stuff and basically what they did is they said Owen Hart is hurt. We're gonna move on to the next match and stuff after like they
So we're
took him out on a stretcher.
We're
or
going to
something
take
like
a
that.
small break while we deal with this situation.
Yeah.
And then
Scary,
cut-
you know, the scary part about that whole situation. Now, one of the commentators, Jim Ross, he just saw one of his coworkers die.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, what's going on? What's happening with him? They're like, they have headsets on, and you know, people backstage tell him what's going on. They're like, Owen Hart's dead. You're live in 5, 4, 3, 2. So
Jesus.
Jim Ross, you know, you're just stone faced. Like
You have to
ladies-
talk to the entire viewing audience about
What
how
happened.
Owen Hart just fucking
and
died.
keep it together and not fucking losing
And-
it.
yeah.
Hearing
And
your
then-
fucking coworker just died.
and then continue the event.
And then they kept
Jesus.
Like
they
nothing
continued the event. If you go back and watch that pay-per-view, there is blood on the mat for the entirety of the event. They never cleaned Owen Hart's blood off that mat from where he died.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
So can you imagine hearing one of your coworkers die? Yeah, you're live in front of a studio. You're live, not a studio audience. You're live in front of a fucking crowd. Live television. Go. Yeah, he
Jesus.
just died. Fucking
Again,
scary
that
shit.
era of wrestling was fucking wild.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Speaking of that fucking era, though, this is a little bit more positive. What
Yeah,
about
can we talk about something like, a
Yeah,
little more lighthearted?
well-
We kind of talked about, CTE,
Shit.
dying,
Death.
bad
dark
injuries,
ass shit in wrestling?
the dark side of the ring, if you will. Watch those documentaries; they're good.
One of the final matches I got for one of my favorite matches. Now, again, this isn't really much of a wrestling match because I'm a big Matt I'm a big mat technician guy. I like watching guys go back and forth.
You like
moves.
watching? Oh,
Oh
too.
yes.
dude.
With this match, it was Stone Cold and Bret Hart in a submission match at WrestleMania 13.
That's the double turn, isn't it?
Yeah, that's the match where the match ends with Stone Cold being knocked unconscious from the pain and Bret refusing to let go of the hold.
So going into this match, Suitcase,
He's looking at fucking
going
Facebook. He don't care.
into this match, Bret Hart is the guy the crowd loves.
Yeah.
The crowd's behind him. He has the full support. Stone Cold Steve Austin is the heel, the guy that's hated by everyone.
the bad dude.
The bad name.
It ends by a sharpshooter being applied to Stone Cold Steve Austin. He is coated in his own blood. There's a puddle of blood in front of him, and he passes out from the pain in a puddle of his own blood.
And that was the first time I've seen not only somebody just not give up, he's fucking screaming agony, fucking blood clearly dripping down his fucking face, and fucking passes out and never gives up.
And then
Never said he quit.
Jesus.
obviously he's knocked out. You call the match is called because that's how it works.
Yeah.
He's unresponsive. Bret Hart refuses to let go. He's just holding that.
Jesus.
So the crowd completely flips.
Yep.
Now Stone Cold, the guy who passed out in his own blood, refused to quit, is the guy loved by the crowd. And Bret Hart, the guy who came in with everyone loving him, everyone now hates him. He's the bad guy. He's the villain.
Incredible.
And this is a match that, like I said, it wasn't a wrestling match. It was a fucking fight. And how Stone Cold got busted open, he was trying to pull Bret Hart into the ring. Bret Hart had the ring bell. Bam! Smacked him in the face with the ring bell. And just the whole match, just fucking blood starts dripping. It's like, holy shit, that was badass.
Damn.
And again, that was the first match I saw of somebody fucking Crimson Mask of Blood. It's like, that was pretty fucking badass by Stone Cold.
Damn.
Yep.
Another good match like that, ending in a very positive light, was Eddie Guerrero versus Brock Lesnar.
Oh, fuck yeah. Yep.
Eddie Guerrero winning the championship with a crimson mask because he got fucking walloped with a belt.
Favorite matches? Let's see. Did favorite match types or gimmicks? Now, we still have, like, do you guys want to fire through, like, the Mount Rushmore wrestlers for each era?
Mount Rushmore top 5 or...
You can probably just do a quick top 5. Yeah.
So just top 5 in general?
Yeah, because I think a Mount Rushmore for each era is like...
That's a lot.
It's kind of hard because there's a lot of eras of wrestling, and then you got to go like...
And
you
we're
think you
already
gotta
2 hours in.
So
Yeah.
I like the idea of a top 5, but also I feel like we don't have to do in any order. Like you don't have to
Just
have
say 5 wrestlers.
You don't
that
have
think
to have
are
a
best.
structured top 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's just 5 that are your favorite or the best in your opinion. I can go first with one.
Hit it.
Go.
I've got Mick Foley, a.k.a. Mankind, a.k.a. Cactus Jack, a.k.a. Dude Love, a.k.a. You know.
He's like 7
Mama
guys
Foley's
in one.
baby boy.
Yeah, he likes to. He's got a lot of gimmicks.
Hell yeah.
Known for his gimmicks.
Yeah, a man who could do it all, basically.
Yep.
Literally would just punish his body for
Yeah.
people's
He
entertainment.
could
Damn.
put on one hell of a show. Am I just doing
Just go.
5 or are we?
Yeah, just go. Fuck
Yeah,
it.
go.
Fuck it, we ball.
Sure.
Go fire.
Sure. Number 2 I've got is Shawn Michaels. He puts on.
I feel like Sean's probably gonna be on all 3 of
Yeah.
our lists.
Yeah.
Honestly.
He's on
I
mine.
feel like he's got to be up there. My third has to be Kenny Omega because
That's fair.
the amount he can do, he is insane in the ring. Obviously, with the era now being more fast-paced wrestling, he's so good with that.
How about you mute your phone, asshole?
It is. It's on vibrate, you fuck.
I can't believe it vibrated the moment I ended my sentence. But who else do we got? I feel like John Cena has to be in the top 5.
For all the work he's done for the business, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
And-
can respect that.
I want to go more old school, but I can't because I feel like Bryan Danielson, a.k.a. Daniel Bryan, is one of the best in-ring wrestlers of all time.
Very fair.
The man is one of the best technical wrestlers to exist.
Fair enough.
If you don't believe me, watch either his match with Swerve Strickland, watch any of his matches with Jon Moxley, watch any of his matches in WWE with further in his career, I'd say. Not like his match with Sheamus at WrestleMania where he,
lost in one bro kick. Anyway.
Or his time in NXT where he just lost every match and then got fired because he choked out Justin Roberts with a tie.
Look, Justin Roberts deserved it.
All right, that's 5.
That's 5?
That's 5.
My list is probably pretty predictable. I'm going to have to say Shawn Michaels, obviously.
Fair enough.
I got to put Seth Rollins on there. I just
Obviously.
love his work, as if I'm wearing his shirt, obviously. I just love his work. I've never seen a Seth Rollins match I didn't like, really. I gotta put Undertaker on there. Just prolific,
legend.
far too prolific for him not to be on my list. Edge, always loved Edge.
I can see that.
Always loved Edge. Edge is just amazing at what he did, and this choice is probably controversial nowadays if you know Chris Jericho from just his work in AEW, but Chris Jericho. He's always just been so fucking good.
Him time and time again.
I love he's always been good in the ring. He's always been good on the mic. He's always had a new fresh gimmick. His band is good. Fozzie's a fantastic musical act. I like listening to them.
He has
Fozzy
his own cruise. He has his own cruise.
Yep, he has his own cruise.
I want to fucking go on that cruise. So
Interesting.
bad.
Yeah. When I become a millionaire, I can afford to.
If you buy a single ticket, it's close to $2,000.
Jesus.
Yeah,
But it's literally a pro wrestling cruise.
yeah.
When one of
It's
us
a-
wins the lottery.
It's called Chris Jericho's Rock and Wrestling Cruise. So
Yep.
there's live music and live wrestling every night.
Lit as hell.
Incredible.
One of the two every
But
night.
yeah, Chris Jericho's got to be on there because he's just great. He's just always been good across the board.
Yeah.
Those are my 5 wrestlers. Like you put on any of their matches, I'm like, all right, I'm locked in. I'm listening.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Oh, I didn't prepare a top 5. So
Motherfucker.
well, because I had them for different eras.
Listen, we've waffled a lot.
We have waffled a lot.
Yeah.
What are we at time wise?
We're beefing.
It's 2:01 right now.
Damn.
In the morning?
No,
No,
in the morning I'm calling off work.
Damn.
yo, imagine calling off work because you didn't go to bed on time.
I've done that.
Yeah,
I
me too.
actually,
Guess who did that today?
dude, I jammed with a bunch of musicians that I haven't jammed with, and it was like 11 o'clock by the time I got home. And I just called him. It's like, no, I'm not going to be awake in the morning.
Yeah, I felt that one.
So, obviously, Shawn Michaels. He can. Gee, didn't predict that. But seriously though, he can work with anybody. He can have a good match with anybody. And so what happened? There was 2 different eras. I'm telling this a suitcase. There's 2 eras. When he was younger, he was really cocky and very full of himself.
Yeah.
Very into like painkillers and alcohol.
Hell
And-
yeah.
And it got to a point where he was so bad that he was like on the couch, like not moving but awake. And his kid was crawling over him. And his wife was like, honey, don't bother daddy. He's really tired. And at that moment, really fucked with him. It's like, I need help. And he got better. He found the Lord, and he had a career-threatening injury where the doctor said that, yeah, you're never going to wrestle again.
Yikes.
He got better. Somehow the injury was gone. And when he returned in 2002, he was just as good, if not better,
Damn.
in the ring, wrestling, and anybody. So that's why he was just one of my all-time top favorites.
Yeah, fair.
And, I really had to sit down and think about this. I'm just trying to think of all the different eras that I like. I got to go with Rob Van Dam because, again, he's another guy that can have a really good match with anybody. He's just entertaining to watch. He can go extreme hardcore, death-defying, tables, ladders, and chairs.
Damn.
He can also do really good mat wrestling, back and forth kind of stuff. Very entertaining wrestler. And Chris Jericho. Yeah, he has to be on my
He's
list.
just one of those ones. If he's not on your list, he's on someone else's for sure.
Yeah, exactly. I just love watching his stuff, his matches, and the character developments that he has had through the years. And I've already mentioned him, but Austin Aries. I love watching his in-ring work. He's another really good technical wrestler. He has signature moves that are, I don't know, I think they're pretty entertaining to watch. Just as a person, I don't know if I want to meet him.
No worry, we'll feed him that hot pocket. We'll take care of him.
Fucking implode. Yeah. And like I said, I'm a big Mac technician guy, so I like watching Bret Hart's stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
Hart
technical
is-
wrestler, one of the better technical wrestlers from back in the day, and unfortunately, he didn't really make the big superstar status like Hulk Hogan or Macho Man. He won a few titles, but still was one of my favorites.
He's that underappreciated kind of guy that, like, if you know the business, you appreciate him, but if, like, you're not familiar, it's like, I don't know, Bret Hart.
Well, I mean, his gimmick was the best there is, the best there was, the best there ever will be.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard though in real life he's like
Yeah.
the big Bret Hart, #1 Bret Hart fan. Kind of
Yeah.
full of himself, but
You'd be hard pressed to find one of those bigger wrestlers from the '80s who wasn't like that, though.
that's
Fair
true.
enough.
He is also Goldberg's #1 hater.
Goldberg.
Yep.
For reference, Goldberg kicked him so hard he had to retire.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's not a joke.
Yeah.
I wish it
sadly.
was.
I know, but
Goldberg.
I still love that tweet of this is how Bret Hart
bro.
remembers.
What was that look on your face? Devious ass ripping
sad
face.
sewage farts all day.
Jesus.
Any other big major topics you guys got?
I think we about covered what I was prepared for, yeah. And then we also filled in a bunch of just random shit.
Yeah.
we did yap for a while about just a lot of random stuff.
We do be yapping.
You got
That's
one
true.
more. You got one more good sip for us in you.
No, I'm out.
It's empty.
Hold on. Nothing.
It's empty.
Oh, hollow
That shit's
sip.
empty.
So
I finished my Monster Sunrise.
I do have
What
a
it tastes like?
Orange.
Hell yeah.
I do have a few more topics I can rip through really quick.
Lightning round.
Yes, lightning round because it's definitely getting up there.
Yeah,
Favorite
Maze-
wrestling theme songs.
This fire burns. CM Punk.
That's on my list.
Metalingus, Edge.
I'll fire through these really quick. DX's theme song, CM Punk, This Fire Burns, Diesel, because it's just like a hardcore blues tune. I love Paige's theme song because it's not like a girly song. It's more like a punk rock hardcore kind of theme song. Fucking love that shit. And the guy that did the Pounce, Marcus Corvan.
Batista.
So yeah,
Batista's theme song is badass.
You gotta
I- like-
shout out. You gotta shout out Randy Orton's voices,
And
or
problem is,
Burning
like-
My Light. Both are fucking.
And problem
even
is,
though Randy hated Burning My Light.
he hated it.
like I love those songs, but I just listen to them so much.
It's fair.
Let's see.
So,
I do have a playlist. Of
The only
mine.
one I regularly know is the
That-
Brodus Clay one.
Chris Jericho.
I do have a playlist
Yep.
of mine
Yep.
when,
Break the
when I
Walls
used to go to
Down.
the gym, full of just wrestling songs.
And also Kenny Omega's theme song. I fucking love that song. That song rips.
Let's
Fair.
see. Let me fire through a couple of these. We have Drew McIntyre's "Broken Dreams."
Yep.
We have One of a Kind, RVD's theme song. We've got Just Close Your Eyes, Christian's theme
I
song.
Yep.
love that song. That
Yep.
song that's
Rhea
on my
Ripley's
list.
old theme song,
Yo, shout
Brutality.
out to Sheamus's old theme. You can see it written on my face.
Yeah,
That's a banger. For
that
him.
is a good song.
Yeah.
We've got the 3-6 Mafia singing Mark Henry down to the
Yep.
ring with Somebody's Gonna Get
Some
It.
boy gonna get the ass kicked. Some boy gonna get.
We got to shout out both of Rey Mysterio's WWE themes.
Yes.
Yep.
Who's that jumping out of the sky?
We've got to shout out
Mr.
John Moxley's AEW theme song, Wild Thing.
Yep.
Just from the Stadium Stampede match or whatever it was, Anarchy in the Arena, where it played over and over and
Yep.
over
Damn.
again. Or we could go with Bryan Danielson's theme song, Born for Greatness in AEW.
Isn't that just Ride of the Valkyries?
No, that's not. It has lyrics to it.
We have reached the point of the podcast where Buddy is barking.
Or sadly, one of my favorites is a more recent thing where Bray Wyatt's last theme song in WWE brings a tear to my eye every time now.
Yep.
And for some reason, I wasn't a big fan of the song at first, but I like Sasha Banks' theme.
Yeah?
Like I didn't like it at first, but it grew on me. It's like, you know what? I kind of dig this song.
So I feel like we can all solemnly agree that any new WWE theme song now until the end of the year is absolute trash.
Yeah, Def Rebel's not very good at their job.
That's why Def Rebel's not going to continue their contracts.
Wow.
At least KO got to keep his theme. He didn't get his.
Yeah.
That being said, please bring back the Downstate fucking Seth Rollins theme. I'm begging. Please. I need to burn it down.
I mean, I don't mind his cult leader theme song, but
but it's not
what he's doing now.
And did you mention Edge's theme?
I did, yeah.
Did you? Okay.
Yeah.
Edge, also fantastic song. Obviously, Christians. Still like Chris Benoit's theme, even though the situation.
It is a good song.
I think the biggest thing with Chris Benoit, I think, is you can acknowledge his ring work was good. He had some really good moments, as long as you also acknowledge that, he was kind of a bad dude. Yeah. Like a really, really bad dude.
Yeah, he kind of did some unspeakable, unforgivable
shit. It was
shit.
pretty horrible, yeah.
And Stone Cold's theme song, but the Disturbed version.
Oh, the one they played one time and then we've never seen again.
Yeah, I know. But it's fucking
that was
badass
so fucking good.
Because it was one of my favorite bands, and it's fucking Stone Cold.
I think you have to shout out John Cena's Thugonomics theme, too.
Yeah, that was a good song.
Him rapping his own theme song is kind of banger.
What else? There was the...
I'm untouchable, but I'm forcing you to feel me.
Yeah, there's... Evolution's theme. Line in the Sand. Basically any theme that Triple H has had made because it has Motorhead is just a W. Yeah. Although my time was okay. But
all right, I've got a deep cut for everyone.
Oh no,
deep cut.
No.
Mr. Kennedy's theme song.
Terrible theme. What do you mean by terrible? Like Mr. I'm not gonna peek the mic anymore.
No.
Peek the mic.
No, come on.
Kennedy.
Yeah.
Just turn up the trouble.
Wait for it.
Kennedy.
That
was his theme. That's it. That's the only part of his theme I can remember.
Actually, really quick. He was at one of the live events down here at the Ice Arena years ago. And you know how he had the microphone come down from the ceiling in the big arenas?
Yeah.
Well, he did the Kennedy thing, and he was doing this. And there was no mic that came down from the ceiling, so the ring announcer went over, put the mic in his hand.
Dude, live shows are fun. They just clown around at live shows.
I remember when he got fired from WWE and had to go to TNA, and his name changed from Mr. Kennedy to Mr. Anderson.
Oh, no.
It did not have the same, gust.
Anderson. One of the last songs I got, though, is if you remember, but it's Austin Aries' theme from WWE.
I do not remember.
Yeah, I'm not familiar off the top of my head.
It's actually pretty decent. I enjoy it.
I believe
I wasn't a big 205 Live guy.
Well, I wasn't either. Really, the only time I heard it is when Neville and him are wrestling.
Yeah, those were the probably best matches from 205 Live ever.
Yeah. And I mentioned upstairs some wrestling games that if you guys remember playing, you already mentioned a couple.
WWE Day of Reckoning 1 and 2.
Fantastic
Nintendo
games.
GameCube.
SmackDown versus Raw, any of the years didn't miss. Perfect games.
Even with ECW.
Even with the featuring ECW, yeah.
Me personally, I am a fan of the first SmackDown versus Raw in 2006. Those are my favorites. And let's see. Also, SmackDown Here Comes the Pain.
Yep.
Fantastic fucking game.
So I was a fan of a very terrible WWE game. I believe it was called WWE Superstars for the Nintendo Wii.
Oh, the really over-the-top cartoony one.
Yes.
Yeah.
Awful.
Very terrible game. Very fun to play.
Incredible.
And let's see. And yeah, Day of Reckoning 2 is on there. Raw, SmackDown vs. Raw, Here Comes the Pain. Now, I don't know if you guys have ever heard this game, but game called Wrestling Empire /Encore.
Yep.
Yep.
I have it on my PC.
Awesome.
I've heard
That's
of it,
fucking
yep.
sick. So basically, what it was, in suitcase, I'll tell you this. There's this indie guy. I'm pretty sure his name is Matt Dickey. I'm not even kidding. But
Dickey?
back in the day, for
You
like
could do a podcast on M. Dickey alone. That
M.
guy
Dickey.
is fucking crazy.
Yeah.
that
But,
being that being said, he's crazy, but he's a wrestling fan. So fuck
yeah,
it.
so he made this whole indie wrestling game, and for like $15, you could buy it off his website. It was glitchy. It wasn't very polished, but it was one guy making it. And if you have it on PC, you can edit all the assets. You can put your own theme song music into it.
That's
You
cool.
can edit what the suits and shit looks like. And that's what I did. Like, you can go into the game and edit the files and shit. But it was such an extreme game to where some of the death matches you can make the guys lose limbs.
Oh, wow.
So you can have fucking wrestlers have no fucking arm, no fucking leg, fucking bloody explosions everywhere. You can have like 5 weapons or like 99 weapons. So
Oh my
weapons
God.
are fucking everywhere. And then they re-released it, Wrestling Empire, on Nintendo Switch and the modern consoles, to where it's a hell of a lot more polished and a hell of a lot better, and you can actually play it. Fucking fantastic game.
It is a really good game.
And the last one that I got, since you're a GameCube guy, WrestleMania 19. Did you ever play it?
WrestleMania 19. I did not play WrestleMania 19. I remember having WrestleMania X7, which was a weird game for me to play because it had a weird game mode in it and that I remember. But
So, WrestleMania 19, basically, you were kicked out of WWE. Stephanie McMahon's like, hey, I will help you get revenge, but you got to sabotage WrestleMania. So, literally, you start out in like a parking lot, kind of like warehouse kind of area.
okay, no, I did play this.
And you can literally throw security guards over the edge and they just fall to their death.
Incredible.
I remember that for the strict thing of somehow facing Al Snow in a mall.
Yep.
And it,
You ever play the one TNA game?
No.
I had the worst version on the PS2. I didn't have the new gen version, unfortunately.
The only big takeaway with that game is it was not a good wrestling game, but the main character for the career mode, Suicide, a wrestler you played, they made into an actual wrestler.
Yes.
They brought him into actual TNA for like 3 matches, and then he just disappeared. I was never seen him
No,
again.
Suicide was a prolific guy. He wrestled a lot more than 3 matches.
Did he? I only
He was
remember-
there for years.
I remember him like from 3 matches.
He was there for 3 big matches, and then he became a mid-carder.
Oh,
Yeah.
there you go.
Because he was very prolific in the X division.
Oh yeah, the
You
little
know,
guy division.
the Ultimate X match. That's
Oh yeah, that we mentioned earlier in the podcast. Thanks for listening, guys. So what's next?
Awkward silence.
so now we all kiss.
My
Look at
favorite
your
part of
lips
the wrestling
slapping
game.
and
My
shit.
favorite part of the wrestling game is when you get all the secret modes done and you get to see your favorite wrestlers kiss. That's great.
Damn. You
Or-
like men?
or in
you
Smack-
like kissing? You like men kissing?
Yeah.
Or in SmackDown versus Raw,
Fair enough.
where you unlock everything, and so like the main menu screens had like divas on there, just like kind of dancing a bit.
Yeah.
If you unlock everything, you can actually have them in towels.
Hell yeah.
And like as a young teenage boy, it's like, oh, this is hot.
along with the WWE Day of Reckoning games. There was bra and panties matches on those.
Hell yeah.
Which, if you want to see some very pixelated bra and panties, good for you.
Let me whip my peanuts out.
It's nothing.
Yeah.
Funny.
Whatever you got to do, I guess. Question mark? I don't know.
Real dogs figure out a way to get
Hey,
off.
I mean, back in the day, it's like you didn't have the
Country girls
internet.
make do.
Country girls make.
It's like you didn't have the internet. You didn't have magazines and shit. So it's like you got to find your own entertainment.
Let me whip out the GameCube and a box of tissues.
pretty much.
Time to
Now,
jork it.
I don't know if you guys would have a list like this, but I have 3 people. Like, you got to respect them because of what they've done, but you didn't really expect to respect them. I guess is the way I could put it. So really quick, the first one I got is John Cena, because back in the I know to an extent, I think we all respect him for what he's done. Yeah. You know, he carried WWE on his back for years and did all the Make-A-Wishes, interviews and shit. Still would show up to work, not bitching about it, and he would just do his job and entertain the fans. And I didn't expect to respect him for that because back in the day I hated him. Mm-hmm. But now looking back on it, it's like, damn, he did a lot.
Yeah.
And another guy I didn't expect to respect is Michael Cole.
Yeah.
Because...
Yeah.
He's come around a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, because like I originally fucking hated him with doing like the Cole Myers shit.
Yeah.
But the fact that he's gone through everything in WWE.
Yep.
And it's like...
And now in the post-Vince era, he's getting to just do what he wants, and he's so good on the mic. It's so nice. Then he has a good partner. Pat McAfee's fantastic on commentary.
Well, he's not even with Pat McAfee anymore. Pat
No?
McAfee's been off the air for a while now, like a couple months. But
Yeah, because he's doing all the college game days.
I can't think of who he's with now.
Yeah.
But
I can't either.
I think one person on the list for sure would have to be... It's got to be Vince, because without him, we wouldn't have wrestling the way we have it.
Yeah, true.
Even though he is scum of the fucking earth.
you gotta respect what he's done with the company.
Yeah.
What?
Because it went from... So, Suitcase, to give you perspective, back in the day, wrestling was very territorial. You stayed in New York, you stayed in Texas, and you stayed in those regions.
Yeah.
Vince McMahon is like, fuck that. My show in New York is going to go global.
Okay.
And you basically didn't do that. Like, you're slapping the faces of all these promoters stepping on their territory, and people didn't like that.
Okay.
And he's like, fuck you, I'm still going to do it.
And then he would just buy their territories.
And then
All the
he had-
territories and all the wrestlers and everything.
yeah, he then had, after buying a bunch of territories, he had the first WrestleMania, which was, if it didn't work, he was probably going to go bankrupt.
But it
And
did.
and it was gonna be
Put
no-
all
Mega
this money
success.
onto the show.
all of this was going to be for nothing, and then everything would just go back to territories. But it hit big. It worked out perfectly for him, and it became this huge conglomeration of territories, huge conglomeration of wrestlers who want to make their name for themselves, going basically international, global, everything. And the second one kind of bombed, but it was all reliant on the first one.
Yep. So yeah, you can hate Vince all you want for being just the shitty person he is, but what he did for wrestling as a whole is massive.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, obviously, I respect this guy as a wrestler, but I did not expect to like him as a top figure running the company, and that's Triple H. Because I thought he was just going to do like what Vince did and just, go against what the fans want and big 6'6" guys, 300 pounds, those are going to be the champions. But no, Triple H is like, no, we're going to have a great show NXT and we're going to have great storylines. And nowadays with Triple H running everything, backstage isn't chaotic. Wrestlers aren't fucking panicking before matches. Oh, we got to change it the last minute. Fucking wrestlers are happier. Like, it's just a better work environment in general. And when you have a better work environment with happy wrestlers, you're going to have better matches.
And and he started NXT and made it into a great thing, and then he passed it off to Shawn Michaels, who's just kept it going.
Yeah.
Shawn Michaels runs that now. And he does fantastic work for the young guys.
Yep. And so it's like, shit, I didn't expect that.
Damn.
Yeah. I agree with the sentiment of that. He has just kept this business alive and thriving.
Yeah.
And honestly, I would say WWE's better now than it's been in a while.
It's been a long time. Yeah.
Because it was kind of like just in the gutter, like, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah, from like the 2015 to 2018 era, it was kind of unwatchable. Yeah. It was watching pay-per-views every now and again and just seeing that, but the week-to-week television was nothing. It's the podcast boys standing time.
Yeah, he knows about podcast standing time.
Man, this is why it's like my ass is numb and I gotta move.
I mean, we have been here for like 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
Yes.
The couch is eating my ass.
I wish that were me.
in a good way.
Oh, I don't wish that were me then.
Well, folks, thank you to all the Mouthamaniacs listening to this podcast. Hopefully, with wrestling and the special guests that we got, hopefully we get more than at least 20 views.
Woo! Hey, 20 views is better than no views.
You're right.
This is facts.
Anything's good.
You guys are the professional podcasters. Don't look at us for answers.
This is my first time
This
doing this.
is your job.
Oh no, I was waiting for him to blast
rip his
when I
ass.
said butt.
So
I can't. My favorite part about this is going to know that you have to sit down and re-listen to all of this and edit out all the little dumb shit.
the best part is the best part is he doesn't.
Well,
No,
he does
I
edit
leave
out
most
all
of
the awkward silences.
That's about
Mostly
what I
silences.
edit. Is if there's just a stupid silence that is unnecessary, I'll just take it out.
We're gonna hear you sipping like 7
Good.
times.
Yes. But folks, thank you for joining us. Thank you, Brucey and Lauk, for joining us here.
Big plans later on with these two. We might have a big boy drinking podcast. We've
Yes.
talked about the drinking podcast. These boys might be here for it. You might hear some shit.
Some shit.
I'm going to sing Slow Dancing in the Dark by Joji at the top of my lungs into this microphone.
All three of us are going to be singing, and May's boy's just going to sit here wondering what the fuck is happening.
Yeah. And it's like I don't even remember anything from it. And it's like, what the fuck are we doing?
But anyway, jokes aside, thank you for having us on. Happy
Yeah.
to be here. It was fun.
Yeah, it was
glad
actually
you
really
guys
nice having
showed
you guys.
We don't get to yap about wrestling besides when we're at work together. So
It also did not feel like we were yapping for over 2 hours. So
I mean, it's
That's the thing with
that's the
podcasts.
fantastic-
It
Yeah.
doesn't
Yeah.
seem like
just
you're
sitting there
talking for very
chatting.
long.
Yeah.
But no, and I would have felt bad if you guys didn't join us for this podcast because we were drinking at his house. It's like, okay, I got to get you guys on.
Yeah. Well, that was the big thing because it was like we were planning on this for a while, and then when you guys started talking on
Wrestling,
drinking
it was just
night,
like,
it was like shit.
all right,
Yeah,
get
you guys
the-
want to come on? And, you're like, yeah, let's fucking go.
Yep.
You know what I am a bit sad about though. I'm just sad that Menekai couldn't have been here.
I
tonight.
know.
me too.
Because he's just as big of a wrestling fan as we all are.
One day after you guys do your part 2, just run it back. You can have us on again when he's feeling better or something.
Yeah.
Yeah,
the-
we could just
the
have another
sequel
Yap Fest.
Yeah.
Do a part 2 or a part 3.
Part 6. This is going to be an anthology.
Season 12, part 54 of
Just
the
have-
Wrestling Podcast.
Have the wrestling podcast be a bi-monthly thing. And I don't mean bi-monthly as in every other month. I mean twice a month.
Yeah.
Bi-weekly, twice a week.
By twice a week. 2 guys.
No, I actually mean like every other month, maybe. Give people
The,
time.
the annual
process.
wrestling podcast where
You
we catch
know-
up on the events.
We were talking about doing this too, and it might be another good one to bring them on to do the D&D interview.
D&D.
We were talking about doing a podcast where we go in character, and Menekai would be like an interviewer, and everybody else would be in character for a D&D character.
All right.
Yeah, I'll think about it.
I feel like I'd be game for something like
Yeah,
that.
it'd be funny.
Yeah, I think it'd be kind of cool.
But anyway, well, let's continue this outro.
Those are all future plans. Those are all future plans, folks. And like always, thank you guys for listening. Y'all have a good day.
I love you.
Bye-bye.
Arrivederci.
Mashed potatoes.